check, triple check. What can you do? Of course, we will be getting into the action pretty quick, though. And Fate going to be starting off on that CT side of things. Although we talk about the preference of the T side, most teams seem to like to start on that CT side. So nothing out of the ordinary here from Fate so far. And we're into the pistol.
And here we go. No beats being skipped. We are going to jump right on into it. Fate, CT side, no kit, Scriv, no utility. And I don't know if you saw my tweet, my tweets yesterday about the economy and how I'm surprised I haven't seen a T side just have one player buy utility and everyone else save. Win or lose, you get out a really comfortable force buy or a strong full with AKs, but it doesn't matter as Mar is shutting them down. 3 from him from the scaffolds. His teammates will peek with him. Ships takes 2. Mar wants to hog it all, and he'll grab that M4. But to add to what I was mentioning, I cannot wait to see a T side buy one player with utility and nothing, right? You lose this round, you still get out Galils, right? A little bit of utility. Or you get plant, and you lose. You get AKs and Galils with full utility, right? So, like, I don't know. It's a win-win in my opinion, Scriv.
Yeah, there's certainly some interesting conversations around it at the moment, now that it is at the forefront of the meta with the, Krieg being nerfed out.
He just
Okay, yeah, he just got absolutely wrecked through the smoke there. The fact he manages to get away with 1 is pretty big, to be honest. Okay, this is not looking too good. NORDAVIND are actually doing a lot of damage. The bomb plant coming in as well. They're going to have their work cut out to get back in. A lot of noise being made by Mar there is somewhat messy. Through the smoke, he's able to drop HS. Chroman's half HP. Chroman will fall. So it looks like the stronger weaponry here going to come out on top, and NORDAVIND just not quite prepared enough, unless Tensky, staying alive and doing damage, could find a couple of headies. He can't quite land them, though. I don't think it's going to happen for him. It won't. The pre-fire comes in. The defuse will come through as well, and a heavily costly round. I suppose up against a force buy, what can you expect? And this is where, the economy comes into play. Sure, they haven't won the round, but they've made it competitive. They get a bomb plan. The economy's weakened up for Fate. So now they have to drop across. And if anyone dies in this round, okay, never mind. They're actually going to force into it. I was going to say, if anyone dies into this round, their buy might be scuffed for the first rifle round. But it seems NORDAVIND are happy to pick up as many Galils as they possibly can. And this is where it's kind of problematic, because their buy is not too far off of what Fate have got.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Single AK on Chroman, he's already taking damage. Galil's the rest. Blocker. And an aggressive off angle, all things considered. And Nikki and Blocker will just shut it down. They just simply hold the angles. They spray it down. And Patrick will double in with a headshot of his own towards B-Scriv. Fate are not messing around. They have won every heads-up duel so far. NORDAVIND yet to really catch their breath. It's, buckle in, because it's starting to become the Fate show. The off angle and the elevation change really catch NORDAVIND off guard. They focus Blocker hard, and although he doesn't get a kill, he sets Nikki up perfectly. That's just textbook.
Absolutely. It has been a hard battle, but Fate are up to 3. The quick speed coming in from everybody in this round. Ships has got to be very careful. Oh my goodness, left so very low. He's just about able to make it away on 21 HP. It's still certainly anybody's game here, to be honest with you, until the nades come through. Oh, no! Oh.
Was that a team kill?
That was. He just ran straight in front of him and got slapped in the back of the head. It's all good because they win the round, so it's all funny. It's all in jest, but like, could have been a lot worse there, bro.
Yeah, enjoy rebuying there. NORDAVIND. AKs aplenty finally, Scriv. They have left the Galils as a thing of the past. They have economy. They have AKs, and they're going to try to force this A-ramp smokes once again. Fate takes damage. The Oppa ships misses. That's huge. HS double entry. Mars going to have to do some work, and his fire will keep them at bay. And Nikki, he's swinging wide with his silence, picking up 2. His nade will deal damage. He may die, and his nade actually does nothing. And it's Croman right back with the 2 of his own. What is this game is going to get a little wild.
Certainly is. It's pretty crazy out here. Oh, Patrick finding another with the frag. That's pretty big, actually. Brings it down to a 1-on-1. Left on half HP. Looking to play it passive. As is Tensky, to be honest. Both players are waiting for some kind of a peak, some kind of an attempt at finding the frag ahead of time. Tensky will be the one to bite. Keeps pushing forwards here, clearing all the angles. Patrick not quite ready for him and will get taken down. Beautifully done by Tensky to push in. Use the time that he had rather than just going straight in for the bomb plant. Catches Patrick off guard, and we'll get that first round for NORDAVIND.
That's what Twitch chat calls a big brain play. And that's it. That it certainly was. They do have to, however, get through another CT by M4s, kits, mollies. And interestingly enough, you see a lot of teams play 2 players B at the start of the round. Fate, not one of those teams. Aggressive A ramp, and NORDAVIND's gotten a read on this. Patrick's so alone. He's lucky to get 1, in my opinion, because I believe he was full blind when he killed Harry. But that's a great read from NORDAVIND, realizing, hey, wait a minute. There's a lot of players in towards this A side early, Scriv.
HS gonna melt 1, ships on his A1S, chimes in. HS tries to push forwards to be the difference maker. It's just not gonna happen for him. Fate's playing around the bomb plant. That's a clean little 1-tap. See whether he can find a few more. 2 on 2. Needs to be so careful himself. Left on 12 HP. They will begin to push in. They do have a kit available, but that's about it. Gotta find the frags, and it's just not happening. Tensky in with the clean trade. And NORDAVIND will get their second round in a row. Looking pretty damn good here once they've found some stability, once they've cleanly got the rifles out, which, you know, begs the question as to why they go for all the force buys in the world. But all the same, you know, not to take away, not to harp on them too much. They are stringing them together, and, well, they've kind of broken the bank here. Fate are going to buy up, but it's not the best of buys. I feel, for me, again, maybe ecoing things would have been the wiser decision.
Agreed, but they feel like they can give chase here, and they may be right. Patrick, just the 1D ships. That smoke probably won't help you in the spray duel. Yeah, and it won't. Blocker, push from many angles. Can he grab that AK and upgrade? He just swings into his death, perhaps a little caught off at how quick NORDAVIND were up through B. And Mar with 1 deagle. He's gonna wrap around for this AK now. And this is somewhat doable. That molly, though, may change his mind. Forcing the smoke before it blooms is one thing, but now running through that molly becomes something entirely different. So yeah, he's just gonna finally back up, try to save that AK desperately. But NORDAVIND are starting to abuse this B site. Again, purely based on their positioning from Fate. They're heavy towards a ramp. NORDAVIND have stopped fighting, and now Fate are gonna have to be the ones to make the change.
Of course, Hellcase, our good friends over at, have got 2 codes for you guys. As always, Malta V 15, get yourself a little bit of extra cash and 15% refill bonus with those 2 codes. Shout out to them, our primary case partner, and certainly one of the best case websites out there. The skins you deserve with them, my guys. Oh, Mar getting the frags he deserves with this AK that he held onto from the previous round. Fate's going to drop very early on. That is a massive frag for Fate, to be honest with you. 10 seconds, 15 seconds into the round, they've got a solid advantage, no real damage taken, and they're able to slightly reposition themselves off the back of it. That's really cool.
I like cool things. And maybe Mar can continue to be cool. And try to play on the site. He has some teammates with nades. Mar gets mollied out of position. Gonna sit a little bit in the open. But as soon as this bomb starts to get planted, they should toss the nades, and there they go. Hopeful to catch the planter, but Harry's alive and still living. Mar in with a second headshot in his second of the round. With no kit, they're gonna have to pick up pace here. Mar's gonna lead the charge, gonna try to trade out some of these pistols. But Tensky cutting them all down. It's a 1v1. Mar was unable to peek, and Tensky's gonna try to play him again.
Yeah, really well done from Tensky here. Beautiful 4K. I mean, the three are nice and fancy. The fourth one not as big, but the fact that, you know, he finds those 3 kills, one after the other, and then instantly rotates around. So well done. Works for him in a lot of ways. Obviously, Mar, no utility there, no kit there. I feel Tensky has a bit of an idea of that fact. And just very cool from him. No real panic. Could easily have tried to spray transfer like a madman or whatever, and it's like, you know, you just need to relax. Nothing to worry about. But at the same time, Fate were on somewhat of a half by just looking to do damage, and that they did. As you can see coming into this one, some of the players have got a weaker economy than they would like. Harry on the Galil. HS chooses the MAC-10, definitely had enough, so I'm not quite sure what the thought process is there. Harry will find the first one onto blocker though, so maybe the Galil's not so bad.
Oh, Harry, the double entry with the M4. Fate, they make that shift in numbers, they make that change and adjustment, and NORDAVIND go right back to the A site. NORDAVIND, although if you look at how this game started, I can tell you for a fact that no one was probably expecting this much of a bounce back from the NORDAVIND boys. Fate were winning their gunfights even when NORDAVIND had full utility in AKs. And now it has just been the NORDAVIND show. Chips gonna get caught by Fates. That's an op required. And picked up by the NORDAVIND boys. Fate gonna have to take pistols. Gonna have to take a bit of a save, bit of a half buy. Keep in mind that this map, in my opinion, is still T-sided. So if Fate can get 6... I mean, the way they started, their goal is probably higher than 5 rounds, right? It's probably like 6, 7. But NORDAVIND are not a fan of letting CT sides get any rounds anymore.
Did talk about how important this one was, so it's good to see NORDAVIND bouncing back as quickly and as strongly as they have. Still going to be a toughie for them in this round, right? It's not been a breeze. Sure, they've gotten the 5 in a row now, but a lot of close rounds here. Slowly creeping their way in. Tensky going to be able to spam down blocker. Made over the top. Tensky continues to push forwards, and it does cost him his life, but the rest of the boys are with him. HS picking up the mantle. Fate's also chiming in. Flank ineffective. And NORDAVIND get the 6th. That one was a bit of a breeze. That was much closer. Much easier, I should say, from them.
Just going through the motions. Look at that T-side money built up, Scriv. We're on round 11. And Fate have to get through 2 full buys after this. So, whew. I might be stretching it. Definitely 2. This and next. Depending how close they are, I bet NORDAVIND keep buying, however. Fate. Back to their single B player and punish. They tried and hoped someone would come mid from NORDAVIND. Not the case. Now they have to come back into B with smokes, flashes, and mollies spread across the site. They're stuck at back AC. They're getting naded. They're getting mollied. Kind of vice versa at this point. Chips lining up a flash for blocker. As soon as he says go, he's going to toss it. The smoke's going to start to fade, and there goes the flash to allow blocker to peek. He goes the other way. By that time, Harry's not blind anymore, and Chips will back up. Mar will just try to get the one and live. 7 for NORDAVIND. These rounds are getting more and more convincing as this goes on.
Yeah, really hitting a groove here, aren't they? Solid stuff. As Fate, maybe a timeout required. I would be interested to know how they look side differential wise. Seems like they get more of their rounds on the CT side, Keith. So yeah, I think a timeout possibly needed here to build up a buffer here of that 6 or 7 rounds they probably want to be aiming for at the very least, as it is starting to get scarier. The snowball for NORDAVIND is very big now. Fate struggling to keep it at bay. In the earlier rounds of this streak, they were bringing it close, but NORDAVIND have started to make it look a lot more dominant. Gonna see a half buy off the back of the saved weapons. Love this from Mar. Gets aggressive. There's a player next to him and he doesn't quite realize it. Great little flash from HS as Ships is left dead to rights as is Nicky. Not looking too good at all. 4 on 2 coming in. They do have a very quick flank here from the CT side of things, which might not be expected. Yeah, per se. Okay, they come in for a couple. Blocker getting 2 is absolutely huge, actually. Bringing it down to Croman. 1 versus 2. He does have all the information available, and he has the drop on them, so to speak, hiding away in the smoke. Will be able to drop this first. He does indeed, but it costs him a massive chunk of his HP. Patrick, what is the choice here? Just going to get on the bomb, hope for the 10-second hold. It looks like it, and I feel like Croman should be able to find him. Oh, runs out of ammo, but keeps spamming away. Goodness me, that was a close one. And yeah, I don't know about the 10-second hold there, Chief, especially on a map like Vertigo, where there's not too many different places you can be in while defusing that bomb. And the fact that he was low. Sure, they don't know that for certain, but still, I would have taken the fight if it were me.
Just the timing was off from Fate there, right? Not peeking together. It was kind of a big problem for them. Why is the player coming in from big box into metal swinging alone when the player back sight or the player like on ramp could have facilitated a swing with him? It just seemed a little disconnected, which to me screams that Fate's comms have become a bit of a mess, as NORDAVIND have started the run. Double ops from Fate could be the answer, but Nicky gone. Ships, unless you get support from a teammate, could be in a one and done position. He's gonna take the peek. The molly will come in. It actually misses. It hits the sandbag, bounces up, and will not bloom. But he peeks anyway and will perish. A lot of pressure on blocker and Mar now, Scriv.
Patrick able to find Croman. Mar on high as blocker goes down. Patrick's on the flank. Okay, that's a bit of an awkward exchange. Patrick does manage to find another, but he's left so very low here. He needs to get a drop on them. You know, he could. The spam comes in. That's a bit unfortunate. 9th round for NORDAVIND. They show no signs of slowing down here, Keith. It looks like it's just going to continue, my guy.
Yeah, I think so. It seems to be on a bit of a roll, isn't it? Round 14. Not necessarily a buy, right? For the Fate side, and by not necessarily, I mean not at all. Pistols, light armor. Save for next. What's it going to look like for NORDAVIND? I mean, they've just had ease. They've had, honestly, clean reads. I wouldn't want to say this has been easy. It's been hard fought for NORDAVIND, but their reads is what's really been successful for them. They've understood that the B side has been weak at times. They've pressured it enough to force Fate to make a bit of a change in towards mid. Fate are like, okay, we're going to take mid and quick rotate B. NORDAVIND went right back to the ramp aggression, getting the picks and then spreading back out. And they've been very unpredictable, but honestly, forcing Fate to do exactly what they want.
It has been a strange turnaround, to be honest. I suppose this is one of the issues that a team like Fate have always run into. Very one-track style of play. It can be really, really difficult for them to bounce back, and NORDAVIND have taken massive advantage of that. Really looking good here. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just don't look at it. It doesn't.
It must be like a coach reconnect that we were waiting for.
I think so.
And he's bloody joined the terrace, honey, silly man, instead of the spectator slot.
Yeah. Well, what you do is instead of clicking on anything, you open console and type Coach T. But he joined a team and then did that. So
all good. He gets his 5 seconds of fame, bro.
That's true. That's true. Any Pog champs? I'm getting ready for my streaming career.
I feel real talk, right? Real talk. We need a who is the coach for a team on HLTV, as well as the players.
It should
when it says like lineups
underneath. Like if you click on their team page, you know it shows all 5, and then it shows their country and ranking. It should say like underneath beside the country, like coached by.
Are you saying it? Like it already has that, or that's
no? It should. It should.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Tensky, Ajax, opening kills. Fate make a purchase, and it is getting just absolutely cut down. Patrick and Mar, the 2 guys we picked. Coming up with a 1 is Patrick, and it's just Mar alone. This is going to be a 10th for NORDAVIND. This is a bit of a roll, bit of a run for them. Fate, if they can get this 5th and 15th, that would be cool. That would solidify a bit of a chance on their T side, right? Gives you that cushion, allows you to lose pistol, and maybe even the force buy. But it gives you a chance where I believe 11-4 is it just feels worse.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know, this is crazy. This is crazy that they've dropped off a cliff this quickly within a half. It just shows like how strong the turnaround is from NORDAVIND. And you have to bear in mind as well, Fate obviously 3 other rounds coming off the pistol. We did see NORDAVIND going for some I wouldn't say like questionable, but continuous force buys that did keep the pressure on Fate. So I suppose allowed them, once they got the foot in the door, once they got the rifle round on the board, did mean that they had crushed that CT economy pretty quickly. But yeah, the 5th round really going to be important here for Fate. As I had previously mentioned, CT side prominence by about 55% for this squad on Vertigo. So already kind of worrying for them off the back of those stats. Patrick doesn't even get 1 from that spot. They are just getting rolled over here. I think individually are not keeping up, it appears, which to me is somewhat surprising. Chromin coming in with a couple great flashes. Of course, Tensky takes down Mar. It's all on ships in a 1-on-4. And he has no option but to go for it. They will get aggressive into him. Doesn't even find that one. You do have to feel for them ever so slightly. Fate surviving on 3 HP. And they are just forcing him away from the site. He gets the dinks in, man. But he just could not find the frags there. Pretty unfortunate all round for Fate. 11-4. 11 in a row from NORDAVIND. Will it continue all the way to 16? That is the big question.
It just may happen. It's looking like they're on a roll, and when a team's on a roll, you just kind of let it happen, right? It's hard to stop. You're gonna need some individual to step up. If the team's not clicking, you need someone to just step up, win you that round, give your team that confidence, get the hype back, and roll it on out. But NORDAVIND, You mentioned they're better on the CT side, which is scary considering this score line. They have the kit, they have the utility, and they're looking to fight towards B, not towards A. They're playing for retake A, they're playing for the sound cues, and they're going to start to rotate over now as Fates have heard the army marching towards them.
Big utility over the top. It looks like the CTs are going to just hand them the site. Fate comes in, baited the nade, got him. Proper plant will come through now, as we've not seen a great deal of action, but I mean, it is to be expected off the back of the execute. And like I say, NORDAVIND perfectly happy to just give them the site, not going to get too giddy to find the frags. Once the smoke start to dissipate, this is when they move in, and it's much more effective. Wow. Look at this. Patrick does find a couple, but he's the only one to get any frags, and they just mow them down. It's a team ace, actually. It's a team ace from NORDAVIND, and that just sums it up brilliantly.
What a cool set retake. They've practiced that more than a few times. They have the set flashes, the peaks that everyone's gonna take on their own. Just really cool to see them work that out. That's one of those really nifty set retakes that you've just practiced and practiced and practiced. Fate, bomb planted, allows you to get this buy script. Now imagine if you forced a plant like that with only one player buying in pistol. Everyone has $800 extra. Could make the difference. Could make the difference. But they're going to give it a bit of a run. That nade is nasty. And now Fate are a little hesitant to continue this push. You can tell they were feeling good. They're like, okay, let's go, BB. And nade.
Yeah, it's always going to slow you down a bit. They're going to get the bomb plant in here, though, Keith. It does cost them a bit of manpower and a lot of HP on these remaining three players. HS rolling in with the MP9. Croman helps him out. One frag for Fate. They get the bomb plant, but like I say, it costs them a bit too much. And that there will be the 13th for NORDAVIND. They are yet to drop a round since they picked up a round. It has not stopped. This is pretty incredible so far, and it may well just continue. Fate probably going to eco this one out. Never mind. Gonna go for it. Don't know. Yeah, really force buying themselves into oblivion. I think they're in a tough spot, to be fair to them, but all the same, making it a little harder for themselves.
Well, they're committed, to say the least, aren't they? Gonna try to come in towards mid. HS the first. They wouldn't even expect Chrome if they continued to pressure. The Molly nade combo to find ships. They do get one back in the form of Fate. But now you're getting flanked by Croman. That's a big win by Mar, actually. This could change the tide of how this round gets played out, Scriv. Patrick, will he have time to catch HS? He won't. That's so wild. Patrick, he might get blamed for this, but he just got timing oh so hard.
That's tough. That is tough, man. They can't catch a break, and it's these types of rounds that really sting a lot more when you've been having tough times, and this one looked like maybe, just maybe, there's a chance at it. Not written off completely just yet, though. Patrick does get an easy one there. Oh, split here, Keith. Spotted out slightly. He gets the player on high, and he knows that HS is down here at the bottom of the ramp. He's being sprayed at left low. They're both one bullet off of death. This is doable for Patrick. It would be a big round for him to be winning, a great round for him to be winning. HS, though, is happy to give him control and might just... yeah, look to go around. This is smart. This is smart. They don't really care. You can plant the bomb. I'm not bothered. And a complete reposition coming in. Patrick going to have to go for said bomb plant. And HS is in a really good spot. Should be able to take him down quickly here after the fact. He does. The pre-fire is solid and so well played from HS. Big brain moves to silently move up the ladder, pick up the pace when there was only 10 seconds left. And really, Patrick could hear him coming, but has no option but to plant. So, HS outbraining him there in a big way.
Might not. I mean, if you look at HS's profile picture on HLTV, it's you can't really tell because of the amount of hair, but there is a big brain there. But trust me, he just showed you that there is. The hair just hides it well, Scriv. And I say this out of a place of envy. Yeah. Oh, to have long hair. Fates. Taking a shot and immediately falling back. This time Fate get a ramp control for free, and they hang on to the flank. That's a big pick. Tensky not missing a beat. Right back in from short, however, to make Fate's a ramp control take a little more pressured, a little more valued. And this could get weird in a moment. Tensky will find Nikki, but look at Blocker. All through mid, HS comes back to peek it. The wherewithal to come back and check it. And with Krillman falling, that's the B side open for business. Fate have to grab the bomb and work it over, though. They're kind of missing that. They're kind of missing the bomb.
A little awkward. Kind of need that. And they don't know if the CTs have got control of it. So this is really going to slow Fate down. And allow NORDAVIND to push forwards, clear some angles. Eliminate some areas, right? Like the confirmation of whether the T's have pushed forwards, whether the T's are camping around. They're going to start to get a little confused. Why have they not planted yet? What's happened here? Fates has got himself in a sneaky little spot where he might be able to cut them off, but he was not expecting ships to already be there. Thought the flash was coming in to maybe peek from stairs itself. Not the case. And ships just clapping Tensky out as well. There you have it, Fate. They have done it. It is not pretty. It is not super exciting or clean. It is just them walking into the bomb site and then by virtue of their own mistake, catching the CT side off guard. But all the same, after 14 rounds, they put an end to the reign of terror that NORDAVIND have been on.
You know, they say something about it's not how you got there, it's their journey or something like that. And which kind of sounds like the same thing to me, so I think I'm messing it up, but they get their 5th in the end. They keep NORDAVIND off 15. That kind of matters, right, in hindsight. And now, Fate, a man down, Scriv. They get around the board, and all of a sudden they're a man down. Good kill from Nikki. Not taking really any damage for it either. The Appa ships expects one, doesn't expect the second. The timing on HS's peak could be beautiful, and it is. He's going to be able to live towards big box. They have to come back and grab the bomb. The Molly's going to send HS forward, and he was already on that trajectory anyhow. And it's Harry alone. They're even going to come back and peek him. Knife out, though, from Nikki. That's AK for Harry. And now he can reposition. Mar has to win this fight for the streak to continue, and Harry's flank is well timed. 15 for NORDAVIND. Fate. After 14 in a row, they got one. And it's just right back to the NORDAVIND winning ways.
Right back indeed. Yeah. It sucks, man. It sucks, but it looks like it's more of a fluke than anything. It's also a tough round to be losing. The fashion that they lost it in, the finance that they lost it to. We'll open up into this round, though. Blocker with an easy one early on. Looking for a bit more as well, but the flash not sound enough for him. Nikki also going to fall. Harry's still alive at the back end of the B bomb site here. He's got a bit of assistance from Fate, so should be able to hold things off. They kind of know it. Patrick sticking around, does get one, but traded. And Mar the only one left. Miles away from any of the action here, Keith. Not looking good at all. As he will drop back to try and retrieve the bomb. But he has to find, well, 3 frags or a couple in a bomb plant. The odds are stacked against him is the point I'm trying to make. It's not looking too good at all here. So I think we might just see NORDAVIND picking up their map pick in pretty clean fashion. I did not expect it to be this one-sided. It seems the honeymoon period that they were missing might just have come in here. They have really run away with things in this game. The 14 in a row is absolutely insane. Not over just yet, but it is not looking good for Mar.
Well, he's gonna try to peek in. Intensky's off angle will claim it. NORDAVIND have done it, Scriv. They'll take their map pick in a confident fashion. You could tell they went into this map with overflowing confidence. Fate came out swinging with 4 rounds in a row, if memory serves. And then it all went downhill. 14 straight for NORDAVIND. They clean it up in the end. And I guess if you're looking for a saving grace or light at the end of the tunnel, that was kind of a warm-up for Fate in a way. Now you're jumping to Overpass, which is a weak map for NORDAVIND. But at the same time, it's like, blowouts don't happen with the economy system the way it is now. And if it does, you just got destroyed in your aim duels and just got out-rotated and outworked. And everything had to go wrong, and that's exactly pretty much how it felt.
Yeah, and like, just the fact that Fate are not meant to be all that bad at the map, you know, and they get walked all over for 14 in a row. Like, it is a tough one. I don't know whether NORDAVIND are just on another level today and really hitting their groove with this new player coming in and feeling confident, looking good. Sure, it was their map pick, and it's also a very good map for them. I still think Fate are going to take Overpass, though. I still feel like they will. But I don't know. NORDAVIND stepping up in a big way. Really good to see. Really impressive stuff. And like I say, 14 in a row is nothing to shake a stick at. Even Fate, look, you can have that kind of a scoreline, but still get 1 or 2 in every now and then. But it was like they got 4 initially off the back of the pistol and then just dropped off a cliff and kind of went to sleep for the rest of the first half. And then eventually were able to come back alive, but it wasn't enough. They only came back alive for 1 round. The damage was already done. So, yeah, really strange. Really, really strange to see it be that one-sided, honestly.
Almost as strange that I think we have the exact same glasses frame. Who would have known? That's kind of wild. That's kind of weird. Who knew? I know one thing, though, and it means we're going to have to take a break. And when we come back, it's going to be Overpass. I'll probably change my glasses. Hang on.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best pickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It turns out Fate are scared of heights, so they quickly move away from Vertigo. 15-5, and now it is time for their map pick of Overpass, which, again, a map that has height, 2 levels. You have up here in the A site and then down here, B site, but it's not on top of a building, and more importantly, it's your map pick, so hopefully you're feeling a bit more comfortable. If you're strapped in, so am I. It's Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home of gaming excellence. Forgot to do this in the intro, so I might as well do it now because it's kind of the intro of an intro for Overpass. My name's Keith the Fortune. Joining me is Scriv. Did I point the wrong way? Scriv.
Yeah.
And we're here for map 2, obviously. So cool.
Fancy seeing you here.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Overpass. Look, it's a solid map for Fate. It's a not solid map for NORDAVIND. So, in theory, Fate should be taking this, but of course, when you look at the context of the series itself, NORDAVIND have just absolutely wrecked them, to be perfectly honest. It could have been more one-sided, but like the 14-round chunk is huge. So I feel that Fate have got to be careful. They actually got off to a good start on the previous map, so it's not necessarily down to that. It is just more down to like keeping it together, and a lot of what plagues this team is that, as I've said, they only have like one gear. It's aggressive. It's in your face. It is fragging. It's gear 6. They're all the way with the pedal down to the metal, to bring the car analogy full circle. And from time to time, they kind of fail to recover when things start going awry. They don't have much of a plan. I don't think we really saw like any tactical timeouts from them, which is a little strange. So yeah, I think they gave NORDAVIND a bit too much room to work with, and we've just seen what NORDAVIND are capable of if you give them that room to work with. So you'd hope that Fate are going to learn from their mistakes, and even though the stats don't support them, not underestimate NORDAVIND going into Overpass.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it against NORDAVIND to come out swinging. I think their players overall were a bit more crispier. They're winning those duels. They were playing a bit more sound Counter-Strike, very tradable. The early round that really told me that Fate were scrambling on Vertigo, which they shouldn't have been because it was their pick. It was when they had to retake B, and there was a smoke on both sides of AC, and like 3 players ran through one by one. Like that to me screamed desperation, and it screamed worrisome vibes towards me that these guys just don't seem to be clicking right now at the moment. It just could be one of those days where your comms aren't hitting correctly right. It could just be one of those things where NORDAVIND were just playing them that well on Vertigo. And it's always nice in a best of 3 to be able to have that soft like moment of break, right? You're going into your map pick now. You didn't just get stomped on yours. Now you're coming into yours. I think Overpass as a whole plays a bit nicer to the Fate side of things. It gives Mar more room to work, right? It's more site setups, less retakes in theory, quicker rotates. Then again, I'd say they're about the same. Vertigo from Overpass when it comes to rotating from B to A. But safer rotates, obviously, on Overpass. You're not going to get caught out by a mid push. But it seemed like the story for NORDAVIND was Tensky Scriv. Honestly, not a lot of flashy kills, but the clutches and everything else added up.
Yeah, certainly looking really, really good from him. And yeah, early on, right, gave them a good chance into some of those earlier rounds, looking really, really solid in that sense. So I'm kind of happy with what I saw from him, to be honest, and I hope that we get to see more of it. Yeah, generally tends to be, I would imagine, the more supportive element. I'm pretty sure the in-game leader for this squad. So it's good to see him chiming in and having some of those bigger impact rounds for sure. Whether it continues will remain to be seen. I don't know. I think this one now becomes a more up in the air sort of scenario, not as clear cut, not as easy to decipher because of the way that NORDAVIND played on the previous map. So, but then given the history, right? It's like there's a lot to consider coming into this one, and I think Fate need to understand that it comes more down to the matchup rather than their history, and not rely on that too much.
I couldn't agree more, but I think Overpass plays to the strengths of Fate. I think they're going to hit that reset. I think Chromin on this map is really good at actually his positional awareness across the board. When I've ever had the pleasure of watching him. HS famously, I think on Gamer Legion, this is a map where he really was zoned in and very focused on playing very well, and I think that's going to carry over beautifully here to, or excuse me, yeah, to this NORDAVIND lineup. I think a big thing though for Fate, enough to talk about NORDAVIND, talking about Fate now specifically.
Sure.
I think this map just plays to their tendencies and pacing really well. I think if you watch them Vertigo, that map seems to me like it's a bit too quick for them. If they have rounds to work with and they're able to slow things down and default and work picks, but their pacing was just off when it came to flanks. They're getting caught out. Their flanks were too early or too slow. Their side holds didn't know to aggress or to push or to fall back for retakes. I think Overpass is a map that's been structured for a long time that fits the Fate playstyle, right? Which is the pace they want to go at, whether it be allowing the op to work a pick, letting Blocker work across the map with his AK and take that 1v1 duel that he typically wins. I think it just fits their structure and their pacing a bit better. I'm not sure if that's going to exactly be the case, especially after how Vertigo went, because that always messes with your mental. But I do feel like the map as a whole just kind of suits the players. Mid-round aggression is easier. Just overall, as a whole, I do feel like Fate should be feeling better into this. I can't lean their way, even though we did both think this was going to be a Fate 2-0, if memory serves. I don't know if I feel that way anymore, Trev. I'm not going to change my prediction. I'm not going to give you the 1 in a million chance to change yours again. But I am not as confident on their Overpass after watching that Vertigo. Obviously, it's a new map, but there is some carryover. There definitely is some leakage.
Yeah, I mean, I've already had the chance to change my answer, right? You don't like you say, you don't get it very often. But look, I'm kind of feeling you on that one as well. It's like this is why this level can be very difficult to predict, very difficult to keep up with. In theory, NORDAVIND should be kind of the weaker side with an even map, with a newer player now coming into a weaker map for them. This series shouldn't look good for them, but they just seem to be dialed in, as you would say. They look so much stronger than their opponents on that previous map. Maybe Fate just letting it fall by the wayside. They're like, whatever, dude. Not going to be our map. Not going to try too hard. We know we can take Overpass. We know we can take Dust 2. So let's just focus on those instead. And if we have to do it in 3, we have to do it in 3. So yeah, I mean, time will tell. We are getting into the knife round here, so hopefully should be into the action quickly. But NORDAVIND have got the just the momentum and just the downright destruction on their side coming into this one. So we'll see. It starts with the knife. Fate, it looks like they're going to take it again. Yeah, okay. Whoa, it's a little close there towards the end, but will be Fate taking it. I double check, make sure I'm not baited. And we'll see. The thing is, they started off on the CT side and whatnot on Vertigo, and that didn't go so hot, so...
Yeah, I guess that is very true. Didn't go so hot. But, I think it comes down to them just settling in. I want to see a kit bot up here, attaboy Nikki. That's a difference maker for me. The live odds brought to you by our betting partner Loot Bet, favoring NORDAVIND now on Fate's map pick. Not a strong map for NORDAVIND, but after that run on Vertigo, shifting the tides just a wee bit, Scriven. Fate with unpredictable, wacky pistols, if you will. On Vertigo, they took a gamble stack, and on Overpass, they'll do the same. Perhaps a demo or two have been watched.
Maybe that is a fair question. Ships though going to chime in with the first. The creep coming in here. Oh, the flash is not super effective, but there's 4 of them. They absolutely mow their way through. They've got to keep on going though. Harry does fine too, but looks like it's going to be to no avail as Fates is the only one left. 1v3. Gets one, but is traded quickly. Fate with a really nice pistol there, actually. We've seen a lot of teams recently play aggressive at middle and then move down connector instead, whereas they opt to go for some B aggression and just completely catch NORDAVIND sleeping.
All right. Gamble stack with a good result from Fate. No bomb plant, so no Galils for NORDAVIND. They'll have the pistols and a sprinkling of utility instead. Fate What an interesting mixed buy from them. Ships is the only one to get a rifle. MP5 for Nikki, MP9s for the rest. To each their own on a round like this, whatever you're comfortable with. Plus, Nikki does have the cool CT skin, the FBI one for the MP5, so he's cool in my book.
Really slow start to this one from NORDAVIND. You can just immediately tell coming into it they're not quite as comfortable. Maybe talking things over cleanly, wanting to make sure that they have the game plan and whatnot set out correctly. Oh, Nikki coming in from behind. Jumps the gun a little early. Spots out one. Don't think that was the bomb carrier, so really not giving too much of an idea away, to be honest. I don't know, maybe could have played that a bit patiently and gotten more for its trouble, but not going to be the case. The execute now coming in over the top. What is the choice? What is the movement? It looks like it's towards short. They're trying to bait things out ever so slightly. They've got players coming in from behind them in just a second if they're not careful. First frag does go their way, as does the second. So a clean take into the B bomb site. But like I say, two players very quickly on the flank. The bomb plant going to be denied away. And this might just, I mean, keep them at bay completely. Mar and Nikki doing all the work right now. Tensky comes in from behind and drops both of them, though. That's absolutely massive. And it'll all be down to him making so much noise. Oh, but there's no time. There's no time. There's no time. It caught me off guard. It catches him off guard. He tried to clear areas out. That is such a shame for NORDAVIND. So much damage being done, but they do not pick up the round. And I don't know, man. You've got to see that there's players in connector, surely. You had that guy come in from behind you. I think the open bomb plant really dangerous there.
And we're right back into the buying madness script. They felt like enough damage has been dealt. They haven't let the CTs get enough money under their belt for full utility, full comfort buy. And NORDAVIND want to make sure that they can punish them for this. Buying the guns right back, Scriv, the utility. And they're looking like they're just going to do another B execute. At least that's what they're postured up to. It can always change with these guys. And with Croman finding this pick on the Nikki, I have a feeling this is going to change the wave, but he peeks alone, gives up the advantage. Ships aggressive out here towards Party and Fountain. And he could be in a world of hurt at any moment. Players going to peek him together, and the MP5 will best him. Tensky willing to take that into this round and make it work, Scriv.
Might be able to get a few more for his trouble as well. Already, NORDAVIND making this round costly once again. Key frag for Blocker to be winning. Gets a second off the back of it. So yeah, absolutely massive that he survives. Might even get another. At the very least, has got the information in for Mar, who will swing out and drops Tensky easily enough. So that one, not quite as costly, Keith. It's a little easier on the bank. And they will find themselves a third off the back of it. So Fate once again off to a strong start, keeping the force buys and whatnot at bay that they keep on going for. And they're going to go for a half into this one. So the pressure is constantly on the CT side. It feels like NORDAVIND are getting close enough in their opinion. Not quite yet, though.
Well, here they go. Through the smoke, into ships. He sees them all, and he'll spray them down to the USP. He's done his damage. That M4 has sung a song. And although he'll fall, he's done his job. Marge will stick around, hopefully not too long. He has some boys rotating up, though, in the form of Blocker and Mar. Or Blocker and Nikki, excuse me. And they're looking to just simply clean this up. They lose 2, which isn't so bad for the NORDAVIND boys, but a combined HP of 10. I don't believe they are long for this world or this round there, Scriv.
Yeah, easy cleanup for Mar in the end. Looking really solid from Fate, but this is somewhat a repeat of history. At least so far. I mean, it's kind of early on, but this is exactly what happened. 4 clean rounds, and then they dropped off a cliff in a big, big way. So we shall look and see whether similar happens. Solid buy coming in from NORDAVIND. Lots of utility to work with. An AWP out for ships, meanwhile, on the other side of things. So that is going to be something to watch out for, to indeed keep an eye on. Fast round from NORDAVIND. Not what I was expecting. I thought we were going to see a solid execute. And this might well, like you say, those VODs that you can look into and whatnot. Seems to work out for them. Although Patrick finds the first and the bomb falls in a really awkward spot. Nicky's in on the flank. The B bomb site itself is very open. Very, very open. They trade one back. But the bomb is down in no man's land. This is so awkward. I feel like Croman's going to be kicking himself ever so slightly. Maybe didn't realize he had the bomb. I don't know. But the CTs are getting giddy and just playing into the hands of the T side here. The frag's going their way and it's working out brilliantly. 4-on-2 for Ships and Blocker. I don't think they quite have the cash for this. I would honestly look to save. But Blocker thinks he's in a great spot. In behind enemy lines, or in between enemy lines, I should say. Oh! He does peek out the perfect time. Fate's just quick switching. Double spray down comes in. The communication is not quite clean enough, and somehow he gets away with a third. Oh my goodness. Blocker might just have pulled this round back from the brink. Tensky, the only one left, will drop him up against the AWP of Ships. With only 4 bullets remaining, he has to land these shots quickly. He can't do so. Gets the reload off. Ships with the AWP is also panicking. Ever so slightly going to be spotted out. The shot rings out. It doesn't quite land, but he gets the flick. Tensky not fast enough. There was very little time. He had to go for the frag. And Fate actually steal that 5th one away. The fact that Blocker gets away with 3 is massive. And we'll see it here on the replay. The 2 Estonians perhaps miscommunicating and then not clearly translating across to Harry. He looks in completely the wrong spot.
Yeah, really surprised that NORDAVIND just sat and waited a monster for as long as they did. Their utility was out. They had nothing left. They're trying to let Harry make a play. But you notice Fate prioritized getting water control early because it makes retaking B just so many times easier. A ton easier. Couldn't give you an exact number how much easier, but it definitely alleviates pressure. Mar gets traded out all the while in connector. Ships is here with the yacht. And of course, Blocker is with him in party. But if you hang on to water control, it just retaking B is made so much more simplistic. You don't have to worry about shorten your retake attempts, right? You don't have to waste utility there. And they weren't expecting Blocker. Makes it look easy. NORDAVIND just kind of slowed things down a bit too much for themselves, and they got punished for it through and through. Fate kind of doing what NORDAVIND did to them on Vertigo. 6 straight thus far. NORDAVIND not even giving a chance to get around, but Fates has the op, and they have utility once again. I don't think they're going to make that same mistake of slowing down too much once they have the site, though.
Certainly not as clean from NORDAVIND. This is what we were expecting, right? And it seems Fate, I think, kind of, you can argue mentally checking out. We talked about it a little bit. I think they did check out ever so slightly on Vertigo, where they were like, okay, look, it's just not working for us. Let's not dwell on it too much and put most of our focus into our own map pick. And, well, it is paying off very well indeed. Tensky, though, going to drop Blocker early on with a cheeky wallbang. I'm not sure. Did he spot them boosting up there or what? We didn't quite catch it, but all the same, a nice and easy free frag for him to work with. Really good stuff in that sense. They have 55 seconds left with no information for the CTs to work with. This is a very doable round for NORDAVIND.
Oh, Ships trying to lock down the A site. He's buying time for Mar, who's creeping and shift walking all the way through these bathrooms. There's no way they're going to expect him here at this time. The 1, the 2, good flash over from Ships. Mar will take the 2 all day long and brings it right into a 2v2. Croman flashing for his safety and for him to peek and to set up Tensky as well. He knows the last player's banked. The crosshair placement is good. Has to connect the shot and it's messy. Let's be honest. 11 HP. Patrick can play the time and he'll end it with a USP. Insult to the injury and humiliation. 7 for Fate. We may just trade maps super quickly.
Yeah, may well. May well, and then it all comes down to the Dust 2, which both teams are even on. Both teams are decent at and play a lot, right? So it could be a scrappy one. Of course, the winner of this moving forwards into that first playoff spot for Group D. The loser has to go down and play the winner of Honoris and Galaxy Racer. Happening on the B stream at the moment. Either way, NORDAVIND buying back into this one. Not ideal. A lack of utility, a Galil and a Scout in play. Oh, but Ship's biting off a bit more than he can chew, peeking into all 4 of them. Great little flash here. They're aware of the fact that Marder could be around, but he gets a double. He even things up. He does get taken down by Fates pretty quickly, but all the same, the fact that it's kept in a 3-on-3 is kind of big for Fate. We always say those even trades are not great, but, you know, you make the best of a bad situation there. Meanwhile, NORDAVIND, with all that coming in so early, you've got so much time to work with. They can drop back. They can work B if they choose. They could come up connector. Something you always talk about with this map is, of course, mid-rounding. And NORDAVIND have not been so hot. Starting to look a little better, perhaps, playing the CTs right here and trying to keep them guessing.
"30 seconds, blocker, the guess is up, and the answers are right in front of him. The first is good, the second, so much crosshair placement, raw skill going into that kill. He had support from his teammates. He might have been blind, but he already had the crosshair beautifully placed. 8-0 for Fate. At this point, NORDAVIND are fighting for just that 5. Sure, they'll have pistols and armor, but even these rounds, I feel, are lack of a punch in typical games. Typically, I go, yeah, okay, maybe a round like this can get a couple kills, right? Maybe work one of these guns, but every time they've even traded 1-for-1 and gotten a gun, nothing has gone for it. I think the weakness of NORDAVIND on overpass is being put on display here by Fate, who are just playing their game. Aggressive together, strong site setups, good utility usage, and just understanding the map beautifully.
Oh, the nades come raining in. No one there, unfortunately. A little further to the left, and perhaps Blocker would have been clapped, but not going to be the case. Ships able to drop Harry. And Patrick coming in looking good here. Blocker and Patrick just holding things down beautifully. Fate will get their 9th on the board. NORDAVIND, yeah, really not playing well at all here. A shadow of themselves, perhaps taking a leaf out of the book of Fate strategies, but you know, not the correct leaf, unfortunately. Of course, Hellcase, fancy seeing you here. It is pretty quick that we've made it hit so far, Keith, on this map, that's for sure. Malta V 15, the 2 codes for you guys for some extra cash and 15% bonus refill. Speedy one here from NORDAVIND, Keith, as they look to move out towards this A bomb site, trying to employ a more aggressive style and into round number 10.
Oh, Tensky. Simply the fight they need to win. NORDAVIND may waltz into an empty A site, but they understand that long is definitely where Fate will be posted up and holding from. They don't want to believe that it was just one player. They know Mar also plays A. And they catch him. Just like that, Scriv. We could have a round on the board for NORDAVIND. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's too late because they're already up. Croman looking for the 1v1 here. He'll tuck into metal corner. Flash and Molly's great. Patrick's out with 1. Do they find the second clean? No. It's Fates to start to get some kills, and HS wants more. NORDAVIND, you have a lot more to get through. At least one more full buy for them to get through before they can get a freebie, and this could be the turnaround they needed. Saving grace for Fate is you have the op and everything you need. But if Nordavind can pull one more off, back to back, you have to think you got to string rounds together if you're Nordavind here. You must. And if they do so, a chance to jump up, in my opinion, to like 4, Scriv.
Yeah. There's a fair amount here of pressure on both teams coming into this one. See what the case is. Interested to see how they approach things here, whether it is a bounce back for NORDAVIND or whether it was a bit of a fluke. Nikki able to get one, but he's traded back quickly at the very least. Damage control from NORDAVIND. They'll start to slowly edge forwards. Mar, though, great little position for him. Ship set up to help him out as well, but misses the sitter. And Mar goes down because of it. Blocker's still around, and he will chime in for 2. He has saved the day. And Tensky has to be the hero for NORDAVIND. Not looking too likely as he's on the other side of the map. No one near him. The lurk presence going to be ineffective. So he'll have to slowly but surely make his way towards this A bomb site. They are somewhat split. The door opens. Ooh, and hidden away is Blocker. Surely finds this, but no! The flick down from Tensky is fast enough. And Patrick left to pick up the pieces. He's left on half HP, and as you can see, Tensky has no idea where he is. Patrick playing a bit of an off angle as well. Going to be tough to read here. Ooh, Tensky steps. Checking behind him. Needs to be sure. Patrick has every element, working in his favor, and he gets the surprise one. The 10th round for Fate comes in, and they're immediately able to bounce back there. Unfortunately, NORDAVIND, it will be a bit of a fluke. Unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
Well, at least Locke's bonus is still there. That's still their friend, and it is still prevalent. I'll grab up what they can and look to attempt to get towards a second. The Flash will send ships back a little bit. In fact, he'll send him to his death. Blocker from off this range, not the greatest. Still best Harry. He's going back for more. He is a mad lad. He is hard baiting for this M4 on the corner, and it works out beautifully. That is just the most perfect. That is true CS through and through. It wasn't necessarily perfect as I thought it was, but it is just pure Counter-Strike based in team play. He'll bait, fight to his death, set up his teammate, act like he's falling away, and bait that player right in. I mean, that is just as simplistic as CS gets in its truest form, and they make it work, Scriv.
Really solid stuff. Looking to one-up NORDAVIND in terms of the score, and that is certainly looking to be the case here, Keith. Unless some madness, some saving grace from Tensky comes in. He is creeping forwards. But he's been spotted. Surely that'll be that. The rotation coming in as all 3 of them look to join together, and they are happy to let him have the bomb plant here. Crack angle being held by Marlowe, and Tensky walks straight into it. 11th round for Fate. We are going to see 2 very quick map pickups, it appears, and Dust 2 will be the true battle, the true best of one end to this series. It looks like. I mean, that might not be the case, but that's the way it is looking at the moment.
Ships right back for the op pick. Punish last time. Doesn't plan on to getting that owned this time. Helps that no one is there. Patrick thinking about pushing Monster. Instead it's NORDAVIND to push right into him. And that is an absolute slaughter. Spraying into the smoke. KZing a little bit. Faints with the double entry. Make it a triple with the Galil. He's doing his best. But he will not expect Mar to push through behind. The timing's too quick. Fates is still trying to find this rotator from heaven. And just buying time for Mar to close this out. And that he will. NORDAVIND trying different things, Scriv. They're at least trying. They haven't completely given up hope. But the flashes just weren't there. I mean, I heard them pop. They just weren't good.
Yeah. Definitely a strange one. Taking a pause at 12-1 as well is kind of, you know, closing the stable door after the horse has bolted, to be honest with you. This is maybe a little late, if I am honest. Not to rail into them too much. We'll see here. Looking pretty damn good for Fate. The timeout ends. We'll see what the change is, I suppose. But not really looking too good. Goodbye, not ideal. Lack of utility. A Mac 10 out for HS. He does seem to like that weapon, in all fairness. But maybe it would be nice to have something stronger. Patrick gonna go for one. Blocker, though, has actually been really effective. So the fact that they 1-for-1 him, it's pretty good. 3-on-3 coming in. The site looking doable. They are trading cleanly here. Still not out of the woods. The CT's keeping it even. The rotation's in pretty quickly. Chip damage has been done to the remaining two NORDAVIND boys. And the bomb no closer to going down. This has bought time for a reposition. As Mar drops down low. The plant coming in. Ships. The smoke dissipates in perfect time for him. The bomb plant denied. Oh, that is heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak for NORDAVIND. Fates can't get it done. He does pre-aim the angle, but not quite cleanly enough. Mar will drop him. 13th round for Fate. And 14 looking pretty likely.
Yeah, this is a bit of a slaughter, Scriv. Fate said, hold our beer. Let us show you how you win your map pick. And it is not 15-5, no. It is 16-1 if they can get there. It would be a statement. And then I can only imagine what Dust 2 is going to be like between these two teams. The trend of blowouts is certain to be smashed if it's required. And I'm going to say it is. Chips with two quick ones. Mar now knows party is conceded. So he'll just look to take more of the connector. And I mean, what else do I say?
Yeah, they are getting ripped apart here. Certainly surprising how Jekyll and Hyde the performance has been. You know, gave them a chance, gave them a limb on map 2. Would be tough. Fate are decent on it, but this is just so wildly out of proportion. Absolutely crazy. All left onto Tensky, 1-on-3. Bomb down in connector. He's got to wait patiently. They kind of know the bomb's down here as well, and he gets flanked out by Blocker, so no hope for NORDAVIND. They need a flawless half. Flawless half. Can't drop a single round coming into this second half, and I just don't really see them doing it.
Yeah, I'm pressed to just simply agree with you, Scriv. Even if they win this pistol, I just do not see NORDAVIND bringing this back. It takes a lot of concentration and confidence on the map, which they're probably lacking in both departments, if we're going to be honest, at this current time. After that half, nothing was going their way. The timing, the duels, no matter how you look at it. They were trying to keep things fresh and switch things up at times, but it seemed whatever they did, Fate were just simply all over it. Tensky, well, he gets the first on the CT pistol, and he's going to back all the way up through long and live. That's the correct right play to make. Question is, can his teammates do the same? Stay alive on site, Scriv.
Ooh. Looks like it. Okay, here we go. Fate's coming in with a nice little double, as does Tensky. Mar, though, looking to do some damage, at least for now. Flank coming in quickly. Do need to be careful here. Got to give him the respect, and they will. Croman takes him down. NORDAVIND get the second round. Wahey! Wahey! Good stuff. Good stuff. They get the pistol, deny the bomb plant away. So I think they're going to have a bit of room to work with here. We are going to see the force coming in from Fate, though. I mean, makes sense, right? See how far they're able to get on the NORDAVIND side of things before, in theory, inevitably dropping around. At the moment, just consolation rounds, confidence builders, dignity savers. But not looking too good for the overall picture. Oh no, the flash. It's a team flash. It's not really ideal. They do come in. They do find most of the frags, although it's back into a 2-on-2, so it's even. Harry able to very quickly change that fact. And it'll all be on to Patrick in a 1v2.
Do you believe in your boy, Scriv? Now
yes.
you can answer. Yeah. I knew. I was like, you're like, oh, we'll see how this fight goes.
Yeah,
And then,
just gotta wait.
Then I'll answer that one. Yeah.
An educated guess now, as opposed to just a full-on crazy guess.
Running it up long is Patrick. They're gonna leave Fate in towards Graffiti. He can't really, like, Fates really can't do anything, right? You're kind of stuck. You gotta gamble towards the site. You're already at B anyhow. Now, if Patrick just smokes and plants, seems to be his way of things, but he's gonna fake it. I thought he should have tapped it at least, maybe. But he's going to walk up, and Fates takes the bait. He goes, I heard the smoke on A. That could have been a smoke thrown from back Graffiti, right? He could have just tossed the smoke up towards A. I'm not going to rotate on that. I'm going to go Heaven. And that was just really well played by Patrick. 15 for Fate, and that is just, let's be honest, the nail in the coffin. Just, that should just be it.
Yeah, particularly to lose a round like that, you know? Very tough. Very, very tough indeed, and it's getting kind of out of hand. They needed way more. They needed way more rounds than that, to be honest. Before dropping one, I mean. But yeah, it's really not what I expected, to be honest with you. Like, I thought it was going to be a bit more competitive than this. It just seemed like they were playing better Counter-Strike on Vertigo, and then they drop off a cliff coming into this one.
Yeah, I don't exactly know. I feel like everything's gone wrong for them. Positionally, economically, they're just losing their fights. They're just getting out-traded. Fate were playing very tradable. They were... I don't know if you felt this, but on the T side, you don't necessarily control the pace. You control the speed in which you figure out the pace that the CTs want to play, because they can beat you for control, right? So if on the T side you walk out into Fountain, you're like, okay, the pace we're playing this game is we're going to be playing for bathrooms. They're not contesting Fountain or Playground. They're not contesting water. We're going to have to break bathrooms and site hold on B. But it never felt like Fate really like let up, right? They're constantly in their face. They were the ones setting the pace as you have to on the CT side. NORDAVIND never really were able to break that, and never really jived and tried to take the speed and pacing back into control. It was all just Fate through and through. But I like this from Fates. Speaking of Fate and Fates, he gets the opening pick.
Okay. The new lad, you know, making a mark. Making Fate work for it, for sure. Slowly working their way in here. No one in the bathrooms itself. 2 players out at long. Ships has to be careful. He's moving alone. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this one. The timing from Tensky as well, going for the peak. He was backed up by Fates, so they would have had an easy time of things. Yeah, I feel when you're in a 3v5, just group up. Just move together. Could have been much easier for them here. I suppose they have the drop in the sense that they might not expect them to be on the site, but they're going to be spotted off the back of the flashbang and the move in. Blocker does catch Fates, however. Will it be enough? Tensky's gotten himself an AK. And the rotations are on the way. They have pushed their way down into the back end of the A-bomb site. Turn away from the flash. Whoa! Okay, Nicky, that is pretty insane. Getting that second frag is absolutely huge. He does lose his teammate. It might all be in vain. One for the highlight reel so far. Can he make it better? He can, and Tensky's on 19 HP. Nicky gets it done. What a way to end the map. 16-2. Oh my goodness, Keith. This is insane. The luckiest son of a gun alive that those bullets just move the way that he wants. An absolute magician.
Filthy. He may end with 11 kills, but they end with the win. Blocker jumps up to 24. That was Fate through and through. Not much to really talk about, is there? They just absolutely got rocked. And that last round is kind of just that last jab that really just made them drop. Really well done by Fate through and through. And if you watch that Vertigo game, and as we felt, the start of the overpass would just lean to NORDAVIND, right? You have the confidence, you have everything going your way, things are jiving, but wow, was it the opposite?
Yeah, just mind-blowing. Like you say, there's not an awful lot to say about it. Like, NORDAVIND just dropping off a cliff, and we kind of gave Fate the benefit of the doubt in the sense that it's like, it's not our map. Let's just chill and focus on the next one. And NORDAVIND may well have done the same, but like Fate are now going to have all that momentum and confidence and whatnot that we talk about all the time moving into Dust 2, which is one of the most momentum-based maps in the pool. So it's kind of scary. It is kind of scary to give them so much room to work with. Look, this is a solid map for both teams. And again, massively up in the air, very difficult to predict, but I just think Fate maybe going to have the leg up after that result. If it was close, it would be harder to call, but I just think the room that they've given themselves, the way in which they win that second map, it should spur them forwards going into Dust 2.
Yeah, I feel the same. I don't think NORDAVIND are going to come in with any confidence whatsoever. I mean, if they win the first couple, maybe there'll be an argument to make, like first couple rounds. But, I mean, Blocker was zeroed in. Patrick was playing really well. They won all the clutch rounds, the big brain plays. All of it went their way, and that bodes really well. Dust 2 is a map that you need confidence to work at default and get map control, so maybe that'll come into play. But I know it's coming into play now, and it's slotted right in to a quick break.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home of gaming excellence. And we have gone all the way to a third map. We thought this series would be wrapped up after Vertigo. We thought, that's it. Fate are done. Overpass, you know, it's their pick. Who cares? Well, weren't we wrong? And aren't we a little shocked at the outcome that we've had on Overpass? With Fate coming back and destroying NORDAVIND even more so. So back-to-back blows in this economy system, rare. And now we're on a third map, which I doubt will be a blowout.
Yeah, I think both teams kind of recognizing that, like, the first two maps just weren't to be. It's just not going to happen. You know, we've already got one, or we've got our pick coming up next that we're confident on. Let's just, you know, not, like, throw it away, but relax a little bit. I mean, NORDAVIND kind of did. Like, picking up 2 rounds is mental. And then we move into Dust 2, which is this true playground, true story ender, I think, for this series, for sure. Both teams played a lot, solid on it. Not necessarily their best maps, but kind of a healthy second best, I think, for both of these teams. Or, you know, definitely in the top 3. So it'll be interesting to see whether it continues to. I don't know. Fate, they gained so much on that second map, though. It's not just that they win it. It's not just that it's a blowout. It's that it's ultimately no contest in most of the rounds. It was kind of crazy. And even we can talk all day about the economy system and how rare it is. Even in the old one, picking up only 2 rounds was very, very rare. So yeah, some big surprises across the board on the first 2 maps, to be honest. And I don't know. This one is wildly up in the air. I like to believe that Fate have built up enough just confidence in themselves that they can play their own game. They can get aggressive and get in your face, which is what they were doing. Blocker having a hell of a game on Overpass. And you know, Dust 2 is a great map to employ those types of things. But at the same time, NORDAVIND, they have clearly shown us in this series that they've got the ability to pick up rounds. It was really, really strange. It was really, really strange, to be honest. From both teams, to be honest. Like how one-sided these first 2 maps have been.
And keep in mind, the last time these teams played, it was a couple months ago now. The only head-to-head they have in MDL is on Dust 2, in which Fate won 16-12. Now, how are they feeling today? How's this going to be looking? Who knows? It's up in the air. Fate have a higher win percentage, but less maps played. NORDAVIND looked good on this map every time we watched them scriv. This is, without a doubt, it's going to be scrimmy, bloody, and all over the place. And you won't have anyone who's a set winner, clear winner, until maybe it's too late. Do you have any set win conditions in your mind that maybe one of these teams have to secure this, though?
I think getting off to that strong start, both teams have shown that they can just run away with the inch, right? Turn it into a mile, as the saying goes. So yeah, I think getting off to a strong start, Keith, is going to be really key, if I'm honest. Like, not much else to it. The team that is in control, that dictates the pace, is probably the one that's going to end up taking the map.
Yeah, I agree. I think the offers are going to be a big part of this, right? Ships, as well as Fates. It's a big op-heavy centric map. It allows you to get opening picks in mid, right over spawn. It allows you to post up on angles, very long angles, deal with flanks. And I can't even tell you who's been hotter. I feel like Ship's last map really showed up. He really wanted to put that Overpass to bed, and he certainly did. And Fates, to me, again, trying to slot in on a new roster as an opera can be hard. It can be difficult. And let's be honest, Scriv, he's been lackluster. Again, fitting into a new lineup could be hard.
Yeah, I think so. And they have had some, you know, close matchups and whatnot. It's not like they, as I said at the top of the show, it's not like they've had this massive, like, honeymoon period that we see from time to time with teams adding new players and whatnot. But then it seemed like on the first map, they'd hit the groove, and then it drops off massively. It's just been a strange series to keep up with, honestly. But we'll see. Taking a fair amount of time here to get into the action, boys. Obviously mulling over all these ideas before we do indeed get into the action.
Yeah, waiting for them to ready up. I think one talking point is how consistent HS has been throughout the ups and downs of his team. I think he still tried really hard on overpass, just couldn't find the groove. And I don't really know exactly how to feel, right? You have back-to-back blowouts. You're like, well, I'm going to be leaning to this team, but because their blowout was more recently. But then you go, well, they did turn it around in the first place, so you don't want to count out the other team either. It's such a really weird thing. And I think Dust 2 is kind of the perfect map for both these teams right now. Not a lot of tactical depths. You have the splits. It's a lot of mid-rounding, a lot of basing on calls, information gathered, counting utility across the map. You'll see a lot of teams just default one long, one top mid, 3 towards lower tunnels, and you just go from there. So I don't think we're going to see anything crazy, Scriv. A lot of gunfights, a lot of fighting for control, but I think that is just par for the course here. And our partners over at LoopBet are right back in the Fate corner, and rightfully so.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I would imagine the previous map weighing into that ever so slightly. The map itself is just dead even. Either way, HS and Fate's in on the utility here. Nikki going to be the one with the utility over on that Fate side of things. Nothing too unorthodox from the CT side, but the T side moving into B off the back of utility very early on and not really checking their angles. Harry just bouncing backwards. I'm not sure what that's all about. Patrick's able to get away with 2. Croman, though, has brute forced his way in, and a 3 versus 2 coming through with a very, very, very quick flank. Cannot reiterate how fast this has been. From the CT side, it's just not effective. They can't hit their shots. Awkward fights all around, but NORDAVIND will come out on top thanks to, I guess, ultimately the manpower that they had available to them. But yeah, definitely a weird one there. I think the CTs wanted to come away with a bit more than they did. Not going to be the case, and NORDAVIND get off to a strong start with the pistol. Got to fend off against the force buy though, Keith. This is going to be a tough round for sure. I can see Fate with the scout, with the Deegs on a map like Dust 2, potentially doing some big damage.
Look at all those Mac 10s. All these Mac 10s gonna have no range advantage against these Deegs. If they close the distance, which certainly is possible, then maybe. But wow. Not a lot of distance in the buy from NORDAVIND. They're gonna try to just simply come up long ships. Hopeful his scout can find a tag. He has head armor. And they're going to keep their distance as they spam into the smoke. HS to find the first well lurking in middle. And this is about to get messy, I'd say, for Fate. And that is the case. Even with these scout tags, he'll tag 3. He is just going to fall. And Blocker the same. So NORDAVIND, 5 alive. 3 Mac 10s. Mac 10s all get the kills. HS is rich. And no reason to upgrade. You can farm more money here.
Yeah, I suppose it's like double-edged sword, really. The Mac 10s could have come back to haunt them there, but not really the case. And like you say, an opportunity to make even more cash money. Oh my goodness, this could be deadly though. The nades coming in and they're all grouped up. They pick up 2 frags. Fates is left on 1. Oh. It's a 5-on-2 out of nowhere, Keith. The USP's looking to overwhelm. Fate have read them like a book. And they are just stood out in the open. They are managing to just about get the frags back in, but they're so low. A player coming in from lower as well could end this here and now. Nikki drops 1 more. Harry left with it all to do. And my goodness, Fate, with the investment of $1,500, have just ripped them apart.
Absolutely bodied. Can Harry do this? I mean, he's gonna have to clear so many angles on while he walks into this B site, and maybe the top box one is like the last one he's considering, right? I don't think he's gonna look up, and he won't. That'll do it. Fate robbers as they just absolutely steal that one back, Scriv. And now they will be the ones with the rifles and an op if they want. Chips is considering it. but not right now, I suppose. He's gonna go armor, he's gonna go M4. And a P90 from Croman. Interesting decision. I want to see how that pans out, Scrib. I do, I really do.
Yeah. I don't know. Misbuy, perhaps? Meant to get a Mac 10 instead? I'm not sure. Because there's not a lot of arguments. We talked about this before. Either way, spray coming in from Patrick. Gonna get himself 2. That's pretty big, actually. The bomb site has somewhat fallen, but not completely. Low HP on Tensky, low HP on Harry. They're already a man down. They'll get the plant, but it looks like that's all they're gonna get. HS taken out through the smoke, and a 4-on-2 ensues with these tagged up players to hold off. The hero is required. Tensky going to go for the swing, and they are caught sleeping ever so slightly, but he's only good for 1. And now he has to find 3 more. Going to be caught reloading. The flash is not effective, but it's all good. It's all good. He doesn't get the frag. He will fall, and Fate get a second, surviving with that bare minimum of 3 as well. So, building up cash, answering back very, very quickly on, and that blunder of a round is really haunting NORDAVIND now. Their lead solidly under threat early into this half, and we'll see what they opt to go with. Harry's got 4k. The likes of Croman and HS only on 2.8k. Looks like they're going to buy, but it's not going to be the best of buys.
Yeah, definitely not a strong one. And this is a economy breaker for Fate if they pick this up. They have money of their own, so even if they lose this, they're gonna buy right back, I'd imagine. They have all of the economic advantage, the weaponry, and then some. Harry, though, and Tensky out of nowhere with 2 opening picks. Ships is gonna be pressured. Blocker can't kill the teammate in time, but Blocker's with the headshots. He'll pull 3 out of his hat. Croman has to wait for the fire to dissipate. Patrick's flashing and he's peeking. Wow. He does it again.
Kind of unstoppable right now on the Fate side of things. It's early days, but we have seen what they are capable of on Overpass. It might come to pass once again. Absolutely deadly. NORDAVIND forced to indeed eco this one out. I suppose they buy in the last one, the argument being, let's even up the economy. Fair enough, you know, you give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. But moving into this round, they're not really going to have very much to speak of. So yeah, Fate, that early strong start that I was talking about, that we've both kind of read into and deemed to be required, coming in from Fate. It's still early. Again, you know, NORDAVIND could pull it back. It's not in that position where it's like spiraled out of control, maybe. Time will tell. Not an awful lot going down so far. Croman left on 4 HP. But other than that, it has been a slower start to round number 6. I feel like that kind of works for the T side, though. They could get caught sleeping here if they're not careful. Particularly, I would have said on the A-bomb site, because Ships is a little isolated, but it's all good, because he's hitting the easy shots. No real flashes to come in. It does eventually, but Tensky to no avail. They all fall. A fair amount of damage done onto Patrick, so maybe a bit unfortunate that they don't find anything, but all the same, dominant stuff from Fate.
Yeah, they're starting to find that groove again, and this time NORDAVIND a strong chance to break it. You have the op and Fate, a new map that could favor him, taking some ego peaks. And definitely a round they want to win, no doubt about it. Interesting me that Nicky's not going to upgrade. He'll stick with the MP9. Tells me he's going to play in towards long doors or very close long. They'll leave him to be. And with all these nades getting tossed towards long, they just wasted 2 smokes, by the way, Fate. It's going to tell NORDAVIND that they're fighting for long. There's no numbers towards mid. And it just leaves Patrick back to his smoke in tunnels. Fate smoke will clear. He can see clearly now, and he'll easily take that pick. NORDAVIND count the utility. Tensky's default feeds all the info. And honestly, could just feed them the round.
HS dropping blocker, still being kept even. Oh, and he tries to go for the spray over the top of the smoke. I guess just the tip of the head of Mar showing there. Mar's the one to get the better of him, though. And that is a massive frag. 3 on 2. Harry and Tensky to hold things down. There's a flank coming in from Nicky, and Tensky's going to get caught off guard by it completely. Turns at the very last second, but he's not able to get it done. So to Harry, 1 versus 3. They line up, but he can't find the frags, and the time is awfully close. But Fate coming out on top once again. Closer. Certainly more competitive from NORDAVIND. But still not to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tensky, he heard the double nade. He saw them accidentally drop a double smoke. What does that tell Tensky? Well, it says, hey, if we make control, we need to pop mid to B right now. There is no one rotating CT. We have the timing here. This is our chance to go. Sadly, a bit too slow in reacting to that. But good on Tensky to get all that information, feed that to his team, and they react on it right away. That's a promising sign to me. Now we're finally getting this long clash. And who other than HS and Faints to really be the 2 effective players on NORDAVIND? That's kind of been the story, Scriv.
Ship's in a great position if they opt to push into him. Backed up with blocker. Could be deadly. They kind of know it. A nice little smoke onto the corner. Not acting off it just yet. NORDAVIND definitely respecting their opponents and the fact that, you know, some of these rounds have indeed slipped away from them when they've looked like this. A 5 on 3 is not as surefire as perhaps they think. But they're back. And Fate are ready. Could be devastating. Execute will come in shortly. 35 seconds. Really winding the clock down here. Making their way forwards. Looking good on the smokes at the very least. Actually, I'd say that. There's a massive gap in it. Flash comes in. Patrick just gets sprayed down massively. It's Blocker who could have made the difference if his teammates were still alive. It is not to be the case. And NORDAVIND finally get one back. And Hellcase, speaking of cases, in a little early, I think there, guys. They jumped the gun ever so slightly. The round hadn't ended yet, okay? But nonetheless, shout out to them, our primary case partner. Malta V15, the 2 codes that you guys can use. Get yourself some extra cash and 15% bonus refill. Here we go. Aggression from NORDAVIND. Perhaps ill-advised. They walk straight into the setup. Fates with a clean headshot, Keith. As it is into a 4 on 4 after the initial exchange.
Favors the T side in this situation. The lurk smoking B is only going to cause more confusion. Mar jumped the gun a wee bit. And Patrick, the same fate with his aggression. Now it's Nicky's turn up to bat. And you could start to see NORDAVIND really starting to find themselves. Fate's aggression not getting any rewards. Punished consistently, Screv. And Ships would just love to save, but they're not going to allow that to happen. No, sir. He'll be hunted by 2. And just not quick enough to find Fate. So NORDAVIND have done it, Screv. They started to find themselves. And they're looking really good. I mean, on the back of some mistakes from Fate. But nonetheless, the fact that you can capitalize on them boasts well.
Yeah, and keeping them competitive, right? In the fact that, like, the first 2 maps are incredibly one-sided. So this one being close and scrappy is what we were expecting, what we were hoping for, and I think a little bit what both teams were hoping for as well. Make it exciting. so they're not just mentally checking out of this one like they might have done some of their earlier games. Either way, in towards B. Oh, God, not again. Not again. They walk into the stack. They've lost a couple. They have brought it back to an even position, but the bomb is down in such an awkward spot. Ship's using the smoke to his advantage, spraying on through. It looks like they might just fall here unless Ship stays alive. Onto another Mac 10. Drops a second. But Tensky saves the day. 3k coming in from him. 3k from Ships, and a lot of money earned from Ships. Not even get the round, but my God, it is costly, and they really need to be careful walking into those B stacks. It's the second time. That time they don't lose it. The first time they did. To be honest, one is too many. So any more than that, and they're really going to get frustrated.
Patrick, blind, spamming, spraying, 2 out of bullets. Otherwise, the third was on the menu. And HS will hold for the quick flank. Nicky hoping his molly doesn't hit him, but the flash in, and he goes alone. No one commits through the doors with him. And I don't know how I feel about that from Fate. Yes, you have a man advantage you can kind of use whimsically. But if one's going, I feel like you need more to go with. And with Ships backing up, he doesn't like the chances. It's just going to be conceding the 6th.
Yeah, they are indeed. Nothing coming. NORDAVIND will gain the lead. They're really keeping it close. Really making things interesting here. Fate having to work a lot harder on map number 3. See whether it continues, though. Maybe a pause in order, I would think, as things are starting to get away from them. They do tend to have a bit more prominence on that CT side of things, Keith. So, somewhat worrisome if they can't find the majority. I think keeping NORDAVIND on 6 is perhaps what they would be looking for the rest of the half. At the very least, making it an 8-7, making sure that Fate have got the slim lead going into half 2.
Crossfire at long. One good pop flash, and that's all for naught, though. There's the flash. Nicky dodges, gets 2. Time to drop the smoke. No time to grab the AK. Blocker's got his back. A molly will come in. And it doesn't really help his cause. In fact, it probably got his teammate killed. As Fate's out to try to grab the bomb. Blocker makes it look easy, and Patrick will maintain. So just like that, Fate will fend off NORDAVIND, who, with a little bit of sharing and caring, could have a bye here. And there you have it.
Okay. Key turning point here in the first half. Massive round for both. The early tag not going to help. Oh, early aggression, though. Looks good. Blocker able to take down Tensky while Flash makes his way into pit as well. And Mar is available to protect him. Blocker in with a second, dropping the bomb, forcing NORDAVIND to move into them. Blocker keeps on fragging. Has to drop eventually. He is indeed mortal, and the damage done to the CT side, the remaining CT side players, is pretty big. They're going to play things nice and patient and just wait for NORDAVIND to come to them. A great opening exchange as they look to regain their lead.
Tension's high. Every round matters on this T side for NORDAVIND. And ships will be posted. The peak to come in and ships to land. And Croman's weak. Lovely running strafe to find that headshot on the ships, but too many teammates to back him up. Norvin, no cash for the remainder of this half. If they full save, they could buy next. And I think that's a decent move. If you can end this 8-7, that's pretty decent. I think Fate are going to fit into more of the T-side kind of role. I feel like Ship's going to be given more chances to get aggressive with the op. And when he's peeking you with the op, he seemingly is always a little crispy. And yeah, that's just that.
Oh. First frag coming in with the orb, but I want to watch.
Oh, what the movement?
Bruh.
How did he do that? Was
I have
okay,
no idea.
That was actually kind of sick.
Crazy round. Crazy round. I mean, Fate come out on top. It's not necessarily a crazy round, just that one little section of it. And Fate will get their 8th. I talked about getting a 9-6, right, and keeping NORDAVIND at bay, keeping them at arm's length going into the second half so they can be happy with their CT side. And that looks to be the case. However, NORDAVIND angry into this round, looking to pick up the pace. A lot of smokes at middle. Ship's got to be careful. He doesn't quite realize there's still a player to his right. He's going to hear him, though, and drops him. The speed not working out at all. The Ships comes in on the back end to find a second. Versus 3 for Tensky. Runs through some flames, takes a bit of damage. Has hardly any information to work with. No bomb to work with. Does have the shots, but he can't get any more than that. And that will be the night for Fate.
I am impressed with Ship's performance on the CT side. Not really feeling pressured. He's calm. He's collected. Not over peaking with the willingness to take some duels. Blockers up there. Patrick, the B anchor. Whenever your B anchor's topping the charts, you know he's doing something right. And as I mentioned, I really do think this T side is going to fit the Fate playstyle. They're going to be a bit more defaulty, a bit more trade heavy. And I want to see how NORDAVIND are going to deal with it. Once Ships gets his op online, is Fate's going to challenge him? Is he going to be that brazen? And how do you stop blocker? That's kind of a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, he's had 2 really good maps, eh? So, continues to impress on this Fate lineup.
Blocker to me has always been that Bulgarian player that should have blown up after Cirque. I mean, Cirque was always just a step above Blocker and these other Bulgarian players. But I feel like Blocker has to be, in my opinion, the next guy to make that next step. Consistency with the rifle, always typically the best player on his team. And I think he is the next one to make the jump. Will he get as much as an opportunity as Cirque did with going to America, joining in a team over here and flourishing? Not sure. But I think he could have, honestly. And this might be reaching, Scriv. I think Blocker might have been a better fit on FaZe than Kirby.
Interesting.
Throwing that out there. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm fanboying. But I think it's hard to be better than what you are when you're the best player on the team and you have to do it all.
Yeah. Maybe it's an interesting one with FaZe because I think team dynamics are really important for them. And, like, they have to pull in someone that they respect and trust or whatever. And I'm not really sure what the history with the FaZe players and Blocker would be, you know, other than maybe opponents from time to time.
It's probably
that kind of vibe, probably. I think that's a big part of it for FaZe. But, I mean, they keep moving the way that they are. Like I say, as we talk about a lot, I think the 30 to 40 bracket, there's so many teams that could really make it in, and they just need a bit of a break, a big break, as it were. So, Gambit youngsters are kind of on that. There's a bit more room for a couple more teams to keep on moving up. And once you hit, like, E5, maybe then you start getting some invites to DreamHacks and whatnot. or invites to the closed qualifiers at least. You know, a bit of a leg up, so you're not getting upset by these random teams you've never heard of. But then at the same time, I mean, if you want to make it in the big league, surely you shouldn't be getting upset by random teams that you've never heard of.
Very true.
Finally, into half number 2. Wow, the odds have shifted in a big way. Quite heavily in favor of Fate, actually. That is interesting. That is very interesting.
Well, Croman gets the first. They're able to escape the jaws of the Glocks chasing them down, and they're walking right into the crossfire, right into the loving arms of NORDAVIND. And Chips, what can you do with a Glock at this range? You're even starting to get flanked. Gets 1. And 2 is always going to be a challenge. Shut down, Scriv. Fate will be halted at 9. And I don't know if Fate are going to force buy. They're definitely considering it. No plant. You've only killed 1. Ooh, it's not, it's almost not favorable to chase, and I appreciate this from Fate. Just pistols. That's cool to me.
Yeah, playing it safe, right? They want to get the pressure on, the big pressure on as quickly as they possibly can, so I'm also a fan of this choice. We've also seen them be pretty effective on the pistols. Oh, and it looks like it'll continue. There you go. Blocker able to get 1. Fate's coming in with a couple, though. So it looks like the madness is kind of over, but decent damage. Almost getting 3, actually. NORDAVIND going to be shaken ever so slightly. And the thing is, any damage in a round like that is solid, because they come into this one with the rifles and whatnot, looking to absolutely knock them out of the park. And weaponry-wise, they're going to have a better buy. Okay, but we've got an AWP coming in. Utility-wise, not so much, but weaponry-wise, certainly can go tit for tat against, I would say, 2 of the players quite easily, if not, you know, 4 moving into like a 50-50 looking solid. Okay, but NORDAVIND using their strengths well. That utility that they do indeed have comes through massively.
Well, the opening pick comes in either way for NORDAVIND. Fate. Only with 3 smokes, no flashes to get Fates off this angle. If they swing together, maybe they can trade him. And Fates actually gets caught. I'm not sure how confident he will be into the re-peek. And he just gets absolutely bodied by Blocker. Bomb's gonna go down now. 4v4 retake, kits in play, mollies and some smokes. But Fate need to get in post plants. They are scrambling.
Looks like they'll be able to buy themselves enough time to do so. Pressure towards short from both teams, actually. Oh, the MP9's ripping more apart. Blocker has to stand strong, and he can't. Chips, good for 1, good for 2, looking for the 3rd. He's now the only one left, and he doesn't know where this 4th man is. Yeah, playing for time. Beautifully done by Harry. Is there enough time to get the defuse in, though, Keith? I'm not so sure. They both have kits. They'll get onto it. I don't think there's quite enough time, though. No, it's going to get away from them, and Fate have done it just about a second in it. They also both die to the bomb. That is massive, as Fate will retain their lead. They will crush that CT economy, and they are in with a good chance of running away with things.
Scriv, I'm not sure where my confidence lies anymore. I'm very torn. I mean, just look at the money for both sides. Like, how am I supposed to feel right now? Fate have the decision of, do we buy Galil armor? NORDAVIND have the confusing decision of force buying what they can. So this round is one, not a turning point, but I'd say a edge to whoever picks it up for the next couple, without a doubt.
Yeah, game deciding round possibly, if I'm being honest. Technical, unfortunately, as we wait things out. Hopefully not going to be waiting too much longer. Doesn't sound like it, doesn't look like it. Fate, obviously, having to buy up, but this is a wild kind of round. Like you say, it's hard to put your confidence into either of these teams, because Fate win the previous, but they lose everyone. They don't have bank built up, so we see them with 3 weaker weapons in order to facilitate the utility. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, a workable buy for sure, an AWP in play on HS, no less. So, weird stuff. Glass cannon for him. It's a really important round, and it's a very hard to call round. This is very spicy indeed, to be honest with you. Tensky picking up the pace. He's got a teammate in tow. Doesn't need him, though. Nicky going to fall pretty quickly, and just like that, they found themselves a frag. They've also cleared out lower tunnels and middle, so they know that pretty much it can only be long. Maybe they're quick up short and they miss them, but long is the most likely of spots. HS gets a tag, and it's traded out by Fates. He will fall. The site looks to go down. Boost coming in quickly. However, they're ready for it. And a 3 versus 3, but look at the HP bars, Keith. NORDAVIND have got to be so careful.
Retake mode enabled. Ships. Sees that flash coming a mile away, but fakes the quick headshot and doubles in. Patrick with a Galil isolates the first fight. Fakes to a Mac 10. Can he swing and win? No, sir. Patrick, make sure Fate stay on and hang on. Wow, some shots from Fates there, Scriv. Unfortunate there wasn't a better weapon other than Mac 10 to grab.
God damn. Crazy stuff. Once again, across the board. But Fate coming away with it, as we said, a game-deciding round, possibly. They'll look to milk it and find a 12. No crazy stacks. Okay, or maybe there is, actually. Very quickly from middle, I guess. Fates comes in with 2. Unlike NORDAVIND, though, they look to move away, and Blocker gets extra bang for his buck with that double spray down. Still a 2-on-2. Anybody's game. Patrick is low. He's so scared. Doesn't really think he can go anywhere here. Oh, Ships. No, that is so awkward. Should be finding that one. He does eventually, and the second comes in easily enough. Ships bailing out. 21 frags for him, by the way, as he looks so good right now. But that 12-8. Solid scoreline for Fate here. If they can win this rifle round as well, I think Dust2 falls, and the series therefore falls. If NORDAVIND cannot just buy themselves a lifeline with this round.
Bullets whizzing by over the head of Nicky. As Fate looked to do a bit of a B explode, Croman drops a smoke to allow his teammate to help him from window if need be. Croman doesn't know of someone's car. There's fire behind him. He's stuck in double stack. And he just gets banged out by Ships. Without a doubt. And although Ships will fall, it seems like Harry and Fates are going to try to back this up. Grab the AK and live. Save the op on Fates. But no matter what, the story and this chapter will end the same. It's going to be Fate to 13. And no matter what NORDAVIND do, 13 cannot be taken back. Excuse me.
Yeah, really looking good as the round ends. Fate are in prime position. NORDAVIND, how do they play this one? They don't really know. The pause comes in. It's technical in nature, apparently. But yeah, NORDAVIND definitely... I don't know. They needed the last one, to be honest. Every round from here on in, they can't let slip. And it looks like this one, they might just have to do so to buy themselves time, to buy themselves cash. So, in a really tough position. Some of these, like I said, some of these earlier rounds they needed to be finding just do not happen for them. And the game may well fall with it. Time will tell. Not really sure what the decision is here coming into this one, as they are yet to buy. Hopefully back into the action quickly. Not quite sure what's going on, Keith. Where, you know.
Yeah, they like their pause.
You got the direct line, bro. What's going on? What's the technical issue here?
Let me give a ring. Hang on. That's the I put the phone in the mic. Did you hear that, Scriv?
I think so. I think I
Cool.
about got it. Sounds like we got some loss.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Not so hot for Fates. He's got a bit of loss. Needs to be sure, you know.
Yeah. Seems like he's lost a teammate in HS as well, and Croman a little low on the scoreboard.
Damn.
Nah, kills aren't everything though, Scriv. That's facts.
I mean,
Just trying to say things to fill the time. Well, look, if you're a support player and you throw flashes that secure your star player kills nearly every round, I feel like you're more valuable than someone who's out fragging you by even 5, 6, 10 kills.
Maybe.
But maybe I'm just a complete babbering idiot now. With the way economy is, you just want 5 fraggers. Who knows? Regardless, Fates and Harry carry over the guns from last round. Look to deal some damage into this, but it's a save for the rest. That means they're going to be playing with their backs against 14. And NORDAVIND stuck at 8, unless they can pull this one out.
Yeah, maybe they can't. Oh, great flashes, to be fair. Croman on high, gets it with the Zeus, sets up Fate beautifully as well. They're so distracted as he speedily peeks in for 2. Mara will drop his rotating teammate and also take him down, so might just have pulled the round back from the brink. The bomb in an awkward spot. Quick flank coming in from HS. If he gets his timing right, he could really do some damage here. Okay, Mar covers on the backside. Beautiful stuff. Nikki almost goes down. Harry somehow left in this 1 versus 2. He's been spotted out. He's been dinked up as well. He tried to creep in through the window, and it's just not going to happen for him. Beautiful stuff onto the first. He manages to get the second, though. I thought he was dead to rights, but they have completely overlooked the door angle as he just walks in, mows them down, and keeps NORDAVIND alive.
Wow. That's one way to keep your team in it. Breaks the economy on Fate. It just takes 1 up on Fates. And the clutch from Harry to send his team propelling forward. That could be the turnaround they need. Not much invested from Fate, making sure they can buy into the next. And NORDAVIND are postured for mid-aggression. They're set up to fight for cat control. And the smoke from Blocker pretty much seals his backup Fate. They'll have to back on out. Tensky's looking to continue his fight in towards middle. And maybe we can just quickly wrap this up and jump into another rifle. Sounds good by me.
Okay, I mean, Blocker gets 1. The Glock of Patrick finding 2. Hello? What is that? Should be all good, though. The AWP tags him. Both across to the M4 now as well. Oh, the nade. Almost. He's left on 4 HP, but surely dead to rights here. What's the plan? What's the plan, Patrick? What are you going to do, mate? Are you going to try and hold on to this, or what? I mean, he does have 2.6k, but I don't know. Like, just go down and get an AK in the next. It looks like he's just going for a big reposition, though. Hopefully shoot him in the back. And, well, could be doable, Keith. They are both looking the wrong way. But then he second guesses himself. You know, it's a tough scenario.
Double digits.
Easy finish.
Yeah, simple. Some even say majestic. And now we'll have the battle of the rifle rounds commence. The clash minus the op for ships. He's gone down the bottom of the barrel a wee bit for what he could buy, what he can afford. And NORDAVIND again, pressuring mid. This is going to be their go-to for this round again, Scriv. Wanting to take the fight to Fate.
Ooh, Fate's gonna open up, be the first to find a frag for NORDAVIND. They are indeed battling back. Spray down from Croman, pretty solid. Tensky in the middle as well, holding things down as he finds two. NORDAVIND picking them apart, looks so good. Patrick, the only one left. He spots the AWP out, goes for the peek, and catches Fates off guard. I'm not sure, maybe Fates was looking at the higher angle. It seemed like he had no idea there. All the same, it's the only frag that they're able to find. NORDAVIND up to 11. Forcing, at best, a half buy from Fate. Oh, it's just getting interesting.
NORDAVIND are doing it. They're running it back. The mid aggression and cap pressure from NORDAVIND. Notice how they've set a pattern. They've said, we're willing to do this on rifle rounds and your half/ecos. Fate are going to think, okay, they're going to probably break this out one more time. It's been what's working. It's been what's getting them success. And that's exactly what NORDAVIND want them to think, right? Now you switch things up a little bit. Come next rifle. You can push, maybe do like a bit of a B push. You could take long control. Watch NORDAVIND to be willing to switch things up here.
Ooh. Almost two for Fates. He does hit them both with the same bullet, but unfortunately robbed of the true collateral. Fate not really finding too much there, which I think they'll be a little disappointed with. Definitely would have wanted more for that. Not to be the case. All important round coming up, though. Evening things up is certainly doable. This is really heating up towards the end of Dust 2. Fate seem to have it in the bag, but NORDAVIND fighting back so very well. Aggression at long not working out for the T side as they're left low and now starting to fall. Harrying with a double, Tensky chiming in as well. The long hit has completely fallen apart. Clean one from Nicky, but he's got to find a couple more. Mollied out of position. Only good for the one. Patrick on the back end might be able to get a catch. He does indeed, but again, has to find so many more. Does get a second. Oh, and Croman gets the perfect timing. Patrick checked the angle, but just didn't commit to it. And NORDAVIND even it up to 13. Really, really quickly, by the way. That was a very speedy round, but all the same. And also quickly in the sense that they brought it back from a 12-8, I believe. So yeah, the fact that we make it here is somewhat surprising, and the amount of momentum and energy and money and everything that NORDAVIND have is starting to get very scary.
Yeah, they got here really quick. And Fate are in that economic awkward stance, right? Where your buys are going to be lackluster unless, you know, you keep losing. You get that loss bonus. By that time, it's 13-13. So it's brutal. NORDAVIND have also, which Fate are going to be aware, have that backbone. They have that support. They have that money. That's going to prop them up for one round. It'll keep them afloat. Fate, this should just be a round of pistols playing into 28. But something's going to have to change. NORDAVIND are really on a bit of a streak here.
Yeah, they're very, very scary. And Fate might not be able to stop them. Back into the action. Fate will be on the half by. It looks like NORDAVIND will be up to 14. Time will tell. Lovely little approach from Fate early on, getting the tunnels controlled, just creeping their way down. So much damage coming in onto the two players, Mar and Blocker there. Pretty nice stuff off the back of the nades. NORDAVIND using their strengths effectively. Oh, Mar! Counting his lucky stars to be alive. He can't get the smoke down fast enough. They've ripped him limb from limb there with the utility. HS gets aggressive, as does Harry, to try and seal the deal into this round. Maybe biting off a bit more than they could chew, but still retaining a man advantage in the process.
Ooh, the cross. Oh, so risky. Catwalk is open, sure. But now how do you win this round? You're out of utility. Blockers on 3 HP. Kits, are there easily on the side of NORDAVIND, unless you're Harry and you just are allergic to them. They have flashes for the retake. They have numbers. Fate have to get aggressive. They simply just must find a fight and have to win it. Simple as that. It's exactly what Ships is doing right now. A must-win fight. And he'll actually do it. He goes down to 58 HP, but Chrome in one shot. And if Fates misses a bullet, he could be in some trouble. The peek from Ships, not good enough. The headshot's off the mark, and Chrome claims it. 14 for NORDAVIND. Fate lost money. Bomb plant will equal a fullest of full buys, including it up on Ships. But at this point, is that even a difference maker?
You raised some really good points. It's gonna have to be. Oh man, Fate maybe watching it slip away at the very tail end of Dust 2. NORDAVIND will be looking to get the quick kill at the end here. Speaking of quick, excuse me, Fate are rushing their way up short, looking really, really good here. Nades are huge from NORDAVIND once again. The utility usage has been so good. Molly continues to do damage, creates noise as well. Harry and HS locking it down on short. Block does get a clean one tap. He takes one back for his trouble. Of course, the M4 can't finish him off as quickly. But all the same, left low. Nade comes in. Touchdown nade, in fact, from Croman there. And Ships will be the only one left. 1 on 4. Oh, and he scopes worst possible time. He had a freebie. He had a sitter. He's going to be so frustrated. NORDAVIND going to be up to 15 quite easily here, Keith.
Yeah, with ease. Unless they let Ships work them and give them all the fights. But I don't think they're into that reality. "38 seconds, and you're telling me there's a chance, Griff." So you're telling me there's a chance. But I think Ships doesn't even like his odds. He's probably just going to consider the save, consider getting out of here. And 15 is brutal, isn't it? Fate were looking so good. But NORDAVIND have come together on the CT side. They've been playing aggressive, but together utility usage has been there. The rifle's on point. It has been just a team effort to get them to this point right now.
Yeah, this is fab. This is so good from NORDAVIND, right? Where they struggled on the second map like massively. Like I say, I think it's just kind of a mental thing, especially when you've got these newer additions, and they may well have done the same because you have to think in the sense, right? Fate have also got a newer addition, quote unquote, in the form of ships. So I feel like that's maybe what happened, right? Instead of I don't know, taking massive timeouts and everything, they were just confident in their own maps. But on Dust 2, it's been so back and forth, and they have had to apply themselves in a big way. And Fates seems to be slotting in well. I think NORDAVIND believing in this player, a good friend of HS, as we've said, both hailing from Estonia. And it seems to be paying off, at least for now. The bounce back that they've had is massive, but not fully complete just yet. Ships finds the opener onto Harry. They're going to move in towards this A-bomb site so fast. HS, the last line of defense, and he is overwhelmed. 5 on 3. I feel like these remaining 3 players should just look to save. Although we'll see. They're giving fights away. Blocker, though, in the perfect spot. Oh, whoa! Whoa! Okay. Gets them eventually. Makes that so hard for himself. Jeez. Fate will get the 14th, but my goodness. We laugh because he got the kills. If he didn't, it could have turned the round upside down, actually.
Why has he got to go and do that? Man. And for updating purposes, Honorous and Galaxy in the elimination side of things in the meantime is going to a third map as we speak. They just had a 16-13 barn burner in the end, so third map required there. It too is Dust 2. HS, opening pick, will take the AK to the bank, and now Fate with no map control. In fact, negative map control. The only thing they have is this long script. They're forced to execute here, and just look at the numbers on the way from NORDAVIND.
Yeah, that's so ready. Boosting a player up onto the site as well. HS trying his best to find something on the edge of the smoke. Not going to happen. Actually takes a bit of damage for his trouble. Nikki wins the fight against Harry. And Ships is in from short, and they're not expecting him. Beautiful stuff onto Tensky. That turns things around. They've just got to wait for the flank on the flank, and here you go. It comes in from Chrome, and HS winning the fight against Blocker. Very quickly traded back. Is it enough? 2-on-2 coming in. The jump across is successful. Dink lands, but Patrick's still alive. Nade over the top. He watches it fly. The second also landing onto him, but doing minimal damage. Crack angle from Fates. Can't find the shot. Goes wide, and Patrick capitalizes. Fates bites off a bit more than he could chew, and Croman pays the price. The overtime looming as he's in the 1 versus 2 to secure things here for NORDAVIND. Fate, they do not want to mess this opportunity up.
Croman, he's crawling. He doesn't see the player who's tucked in at barrels. He's just gonna wait patient. He's gonna go back for more. Not expecting the player. We'll spot him first. That's the first. Expects the sight. Croman can't deliver. An OT is required as Nikki finds the shot in the dying last moment, Scriv. Man, nerve-wracking stuff for Fate, but they force an OT in the end. Wow.
Hey, this is what we wanted, man. 2 very one-sided maps to begin with, and then massively competitive towards the tail end of the series. Back and forth. NORDAVIND had it in the bag, seemingly unstoppable stuff. But of course, Fate bounced back when it matters most. Credit to them. Credit to them. To both teams, honestly, but Fate, I think, more so because they did indeed have that added pressure of map and series point looming over them. And now we'll see. This is often where things get interesting, particularly from your CT perspective. Coming into overtime, you've been struggling with the economy the whole way through. Or at least the vast majority of the CT rounds. And now you've got all the money in the world. So what do you go for? Looser play style? More aggressive play style, perhaps? Double up setup? Not the case so far, but it is certainly an option.
Just defaulting our Fate. Not a lot of risk taken in this, and here's the risk. A walk out towards the middle. Gonna be tested by Tensky. Spots it. Goes back for more. A little bit more damage. They'll smoke CT. And bait out a utility from CT that they can. A flash from HS. Patrick, will he clear fence? Croman gives up the position early and will get immediately traded. B-side open for business as Tensky falls too. And there's no reason saving it for NORDAVIND. The first round you could commit no matter what. Retaking B is made a bit easier. But they somehow have no utility. How do players drop every bit of utility there, Scriv? Even the A-side ones.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, and it is going to cost them in a big way. Money's available, so I feel like you might as well go for this, even if the odds are stacked against you, but... Okay, they're just going to look to save, I guess. I suppose it's an argument of, like, what's the point, maybe? But, I don't know. You got all the cash. You never know. Someone might just hit a couple nutty headshots. Why not just go for that?
Good time for a pause. Discuss what you want. How you're gonna budget. What's the buy really going to be like? NORDAVIND feeling like they need the double ops. They're gonna break it out, Scriv. Something we haven't seen on their run back to almost win the match and series. And something they feel is necessary right now. And Fate feel the exact same. Interesting for both teams to break out the double op right here. They both want change. And they do it at the same time. Just really cool stuff.
Doesn't work initially, though, for NORDAVIND. Fate gonna find the opening frag. Fate's somewhat savvy to the fact that Patrick is around middle. Slowing things down here. Oh, but he gets too greedy again. Ships capitalizing perfectly off the back of the aggression. Mar on the edge of the smoke spots Harry. And it will be a 5-on-2. Not looking good at all for NORDAVIND in this round. Patrick coming in from middle due to the fact that Fates has gone down and it's now vulnerable. Croman the only one left, but he is traded back pretty damn quickly. The round falls. 17th for Fate. Looking really good here into overtime.
Yeah, when money's not an issue, Fate clicking. NORDAVIND stuck wondering what's wrong. The autos have made an appearance. None will connect, however. All the while, Fate walk out long for free. There's a smoke from a CT there, but it's not enough to keep Patrick back. He's going to creep all the way up, and his timing on this is kind of immaculate. I think they're trusting Fates to worry about mid than spot long, but not this early into the round.
Breaking their way into the A-bomb site now, Keith. Ships finding the first. He's really stepped it up here in overtime. HS trying to fight back, trying to keep them at bay, and he gets himself a couple. Taken out eventually, but he might have done enough with how low some of these players are and the fact that Mar falls in the middle. I think they should be able to pick this one up. We'll see. Interesting. Interesting. We've planted for long. But Nicky is making a quick rotation around. He's making a lot of noise, but he gets his timing correct. You know, stops running when he knows that they could hear them from the stairs. So, double certainly looking doable for him. Just needs to get it perfect. Waits just a second. Holds mouse one, but can't get the second player. Oh, no. Just... why are you holding mouse one there, my guy?
Those
just,
were two taps. Yeah, through and
yeah,
through.
literally. Or like, you know, burst the second guy if you don't land the initial tap. That's fair. Oh, that is panic. That is absolute panic costing them.
Yeah, Tensky, yeah, that's a bit free for him. You won't think twice about cashing that one in. Auto snipers again. This time from NORDAVIND. Or at least Tensky specifically. And Fate looking to close it out this half. NORDAVIND looking to push this to another OT. Patrick gets tagged on cross. And for someone who plays typically aggressive towards B, that won't help his cause.
Still going to play aggressive, though. Confident in his ability here. Really confident, actually. And they're going to start to rotate across very actively here on the CT side. A lot of utility expended at middle from NORDAVIND. Not going to follow up on it. And well, Fate, kind of savvy. They know your tricks by now. It's been 33 rounds played. And more pressure going to be added to the A-bomb site. But NORDAVIND has yet to commit, really throwing the CTs for a loop with the way that they are moving in and around middle, over at B early on. Bit of presence at long apparently has been shown. You know, this is hyper-aggressive stuff.
Ships. He's in trouble. He's gone. Packed with the op. Has to deliver, and it's only the one. NORDAVIND read them like a book. A simple mid-B split. And it has them singing. No utility left again for the retake from a CT side, and now you're even minus another player. What a difference switching over sides have done for NORDAVIND. They look like a new team.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful aggression there. And like I say, really, really well done. In the sense that, you know, they keep the CTs guessing. They keep us guessing even where they're headed to. Maybe even themselves sending the feelers out there. A lot of utility being used in a very smart way. Creates a lot of room. Oh, this time the auto sniper is going to work. They've got 4 of them. They find a second as well. Nikki left on 15 HP. That might just seal the deal to pick up the 18th. My goodness, NORDAVIND. That is cruel. That is cruel. There's no other way of talking about it, to be honest with you. Like, come on.
Oh, Nikki. Smoke will fade. He'll connect. Blocker the same. Right into a 3v3. Blocker pushing off of Cat. Stinks one. Will secure the kill. Hoping to secure the other one he got damage onto. Instead, they'll escape. Mar will not let the same mistake happen twice. And it leaves Harry with the bomb and a big clutch required. 10 HP. I'm not sure if his HP is up to the task. That nade. Oh, I thought it was going to make it a 1v1 strip. They're already out. And just a running USP from Nikki. Because why not? And that'll get Fate to 18. One away from closing this out on the CT side.
Well, quite how I was expecting it to turn out, but there you are. Kind of crazy. NORDAVIND going to be kicking themselves after that one. A really strong start and a bit of a surefire round. Little wild. Ship's just trapped You gotta feel for him. You gotta feel for him. I mean, they managed to do it in the previous, but NORDAVIND really making these auto snipers effective, like massively effective. I don't know though. Not really.
Yeah.
Moving anywhere quickly here, Keith. They're taking their time about it, and I think
they are.
Fate once again are going to start to send the feelers out there and get an idea of where to stack.
Yeah, they know. They're using a utility a little bit preemptively. They don't hear anything. They don't see anything. That's just straight luck for Fates. Through the smoke. No one on site now. A fiery brigade, and that's the issue with spamming smoke. You allow players to just jump up and peek you like that. I mean, that is just sloppy from Fate. From how clean they've been to then that round, Scriv. Night and day. NORDAVIND right back on their high horse. And it appears... Well, it doesn't appear. We will need a second OT. It's not that it's not true. It's very true. But it's just wild how you go from very clean CT round to just a simple mistake like that.
It has been a topsy-turvy game where, you know, we've seen the best of these two teams in the first two maps. This one has, you know, started to become, look, close and competitive, but also kind of harsh, right? Because they have both had opportunities to clean things up. And yet, here we go, into a second overtime. See where it goes. See where it goes and whether it continues. Just to keep you guys updated, it is, of course, as you said, that third map going down between Onerous and Galaxy Racer. Also, it does too. It's 5-2 over there. So I kind of think it's a good idea to keep people updated, sorry, because we need the team, you know, to be decided from that one to go through to our next best of three. So in a sense, Fate and NORDAVIND are kind of giving themselves less of a break time. The loser of this will have less of a break time. And we really take our sweet time in between halves,
you know,
to be honest.
it is only going into the second OT, boys. You know, wouldn't mind if you're readied up, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be really cool and appreciated. So, Scriv, I am not the best when it comes to chores, and I may have left mowing the lawn to do today. My bad.
No, what do you want me to say?
Well,
sounds like a you problem. Or...
It is a me problem. I mean, look, where are, and this is what we used to do as kids. You'll go around and say, hey, I'll mow your lawn for $20. No one has come by. Like, I'll give them 50. I don't want to do it.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Gardening is, I think it's one of those things you hit 60 and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, doing my garden is amazing. But like in your 20s, it's that you just don't, and you know, below that you just, what's the point, bro? I spend all my time inside anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
I could be fine with no grass in my yard at all.
Yeah, just, you know,
straight concrete paths.
Until you fall over on it, of course.
Of course, and then I would reconsider and probably want grass. Fate, looking like they really are going to pick up this first rifle round, though, Scriv. They have the manpower, they have the first pick, and more importantly, they're not over-rotating. They're keeping their info very much so gatherable. This NORDAVIND roster has kind of stolen a few back before.
Yeah, definitely not out of the question. Oh, not smoking it off. I don't know. This is an interesting one, actually. Staying away from blocker really effectively, though. So that's a nice little adjustment from NORDAVIND. They creep out, find the player at window who's just not expecting them. And then kind of doing the same here onto Patrick, although a great flash coming in from Patrick. They're turned away from it. HS going to close the gap. Patrick's still alive. Great flash in from Blocker. And HS is finding frags, don't get me wrong, from the back side of things. I'm not sure what's happened here and how he's not been dealt with quickly, but Patrick in a great position to indeed deal with him, but he fluffs it up, Keith. Goes for the pre-fire. HS dips out and takes him down. NORDAVIND finally get that 19th on the board. They're the first to do so. And if they can make this a flawless half, which, I mean, it's not looking too easy, is it? That one comes awfully close, but it's the step in the right direction to make things very difficult going into half 2 of this second bout of overtime.
Wow. Very surprised you're able to pull that back. I was the one to say NORDAVIND have done it before, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again. And that is very accurate. Double ops, broken out from Fate. NORDAVIND just doing the 3 lowers default. There'll be a flash over the boxes before they peek in a cat, don't you worry. They're not going to let that escape them, especially at this point. And there it is. Flashed and 1 tap, Scriv. That is just how NORDAVIND do it, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, especially with HS at the helm there. Collapsed. No real response from Fate. Nothing they can do about it, seemingly. Just have to let it lie. 30 seconds left. NORDAVIND need to make advantage of the manpower that they have here. Blocker not ready for that off-angle. Tensky reads him like a book, knows that they have to get aggressive. Long control under threat. Nikki is around. Interesting to have Nikki on the AWP, and, well, you can kind of see why. Gets caught off by Fate. HS going to take down Mart. NORDAVIND on another level in this round, reading them beautifully, landing some nice shots, but it is ultimately the mind games here. Patrick, the only one left in a 1v5, certainly going to go for it. Does take down HS. Gets revenge for the previous round, but he's left on 10 HP, so not going to happen. I'm not quite sure what the game plan is here. Looks like he's going to go for maybe a Hail Mary or just hang around at the back. However, the round's not going to happen. NORDAVIND will be up to 20.
Wow. Looking really good on this T side. 2 has kind of been the trend for the T side, though, huh? So, I'll hold my judgment until Fate jump over, but they definitely need to get this last CT round, in my opinion, Scriv. If they get swept on the T side, it does make your palms a little sweaty. No more room for mistakes, no room to bounce back, right? It's just you're straight into trouble. And I wonder if Fate are going to break out the double ops once again. I don't think it's been too successful. It's been limiting their aggression at times, I'd say. But Dust 2 is the map to do it, so they'll do it once more, because why not? And here we go. Get ready for these autos. You're getting tagged crossing. Like, there's no options. Yeah, like, good night. Like, that is inevitable. That's kind of why I hate MR316K, but it's also partly why I love it. And NORDAVIND are just going to put this half to bed, Scriv. Unless Blocker can get in here before the rest, which is the case. NORDAVIND still have some work to do.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the mid-round in their hands, though. Fate very quickly reacting to the B here. Ability coming in there from Mar, to be fair, and Ships is dipped behind them. Could do a lot of damage. Spots out one. Oh, his timing... not quite there, but they peek back into him. Mar plays his part perfectly, Keith. Finds that frag, forces them to move back into Ships. Really well done, and now into a 3-on-1 for Croman. They actually do manage to pull it back. Fate, once again, get it done, and it's a great response, right? They do lose players to the auto-sniper, but they're able to rotate across quickly and keep them off of B, and then Ships reacts brilliantly to get that quick flank in.
Wow. Get that one CT round, which was pivotal. It's going to alleviate a little bit of pressure, but if my math's correct, they still need to win out to win anyhow. That's going to be a challenging thing to do because NORDAVIND have had decent CT sides with that mid-aggression. The flexibility in their setups has definitely been apparent, while Fate have been a bit more one-sided, right? A bit more glaringly obvious at times.
Oh, and Fate looking to do it back to them. Their auto snipers, you have to say, not quite as effective. No beef, you know. I'm just saying. Maybe because NORDAVIND, you know, the pioneers of it in this game are too used to it, masters of it. Harry, though, getting aggressive, and they were so effective here in regulation on short, he and HS. Oh, blocker good for one, but traded back. Harry doing a decent enough job looking for another. Patrick can't get away from the nade. And the 4v2 coming in, he's found all the frags so far for NORDAVIND, holding down short like an absolute beast.
Oh, Harry. Already with 3, and you know he wants more. The ace is on the cards, and he's just going to back up. Yeah, he doesn't want to throw his life away. He doesn't want to give chance for Fate to dance right back in. And Mars gonna have this gap in the smoke, a very obvious angle if you've seen that smoke. And maybe we just need to put a bow on this one. Scriv looking a lot like 21 from NORDAVIND. Nikki alone, 1v4. Ops hold his cross, 2 players towards long. Flash is coming in. I don't even think he'll be allowed to plant. As soon as he tries, he'll be swarmed. He wins the first. Can he find the second? Fates is the only man who can really stop this plant at this very moment. The USP will land. One more from NORDAVIND. Fate need 2 to force another OT, Scriv. But you can just see how calm and collected NORDAVIND were there.
Yeah, definitely feeling it this time around, I think. Cleaner. And realizing that if they put a lot of effort and a lot of, you know, the individual prowess into that first round, they know that it's going to pay absolute dividends coming into the next couple as the map and series point looms over Fate. Aggression coming in. It is not very effective at all, to be honest with you. Double nades taking down one. Fates with the AWP taking down another. Harry jumps off and takes a bit of unneeded damage, which is always funny to see, but they're happy to concede the bomb site here. There's a big gap in the smoke as well. Not looking too good. 5 on 3. As Mar, Blocker, Patrick, they're also low. HS on the flank, which is all they're buying time for. Looking really good. Great little Molotov, and Fates with a clean headshot. I think this is going to be it, Keith, to be honest with you, unless these 2 players can pop off, and HS on the flank going to deny that away. The trade comes in nice and fast. And there you have it. NORDAVIND will clean things up. 22-19. We expected Dust 2 to be a bit of a slobber knocker.